Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Real Talk Podcast, episode 23. We're about to go live in about 10 minutes or so. I was about to say 23 minutes. That would have been horribly wrong. But guys, we are here with Mr. Barry Caroline. I'm sorry if I butcher that.
Carleon!
Well, you're going to have to get over that.
Caroline. It's a brum brum raw.
Anyways, Red Eye Monster and Moblord and Evilbunny, but nobody cares about Evilbunny, so,
You forgot the 101.
I mean, Evilbunny, what is it, does anybody care about 101?
Not really, I just had to find the number.
The first 100 were good. Took us 101 tries to get an evil one.
Let's see.
Did you know, like in Minecraft, every 100 bunnies, one of them spawns evil?
God damn
I
it.
think you made that up.
I didn't make that up, it actually happened.
Let's see. Alright, just tweeted out everything. I probably should get myself a drink before we get started. I'm so unprepared this time. Kinda, sorta. I blame Evilbunny, personally.
She didn't even retweet your tweet, dude.
That's
She
fucked
sent out
up.
her own tweet for her own vibes.
That's fucked up, yo.
I know.
I'm gonna retweet your tweet.
I'm
I
gonna
was just
report her.
tweeting at the same time.
I'm gonna report her.
Fuck you, Red.
Oh my god.
I'm making my own tweet.
Be right back, yo. Don't do anything rash.
My tweet's the best tweet.
No, it's not.
Okay, now that he's gone, what's the real agenda for this? Are we keeping score every time someone says meow
Alright,
instead
well,
of
since
now?
he can't hear us, we have to discuss the quality of his tie. It's ridiculous.
Look at the
He always has a
shadows in
ridiculous
his green
tie.
screen.
I know.
I mean, come on.
Oh, are we doing that?
He hasn't separately lit his backdrop. Oh, this
I'm
isn't a
excited.
roast.
This is
It's
gonna
not a
be fun.
roast. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
why have a green screen and not green screen stuff? Who is this guy? Why are we here? Did he promise you guys anything? I'm apparently getting paid maple syrup, which I already have, which is ridiculous.
Wait, you're getting paid
You're
maple
getting
syrup?
paid anything?
Yeah.
I didn't know we were getting paid for this.
Well, you need to get a better agent, homie.
Oh, god damn it. Moblord's my agent, damn it.
Oh, quick, let's hurry up and sign the papers. I'll represent you.
So what I miss?
Oh, he's back. Shh, shh, shh.
Son of a bitch.
Nothing?
So I just raided the fridge. I got one Diet Coke, and then one regular Coke, and then I got a Powerade. I think I'll make it. Maybe.
You're gonna have to piss halfway through this.
I drink 2 liters of Coke a day, and you expect me to piss through these?
How the hell are you that skinny drinking that much Coke?
Don't judge me.
Legally binding contract.
That's good enough for me.
Oh,
Have my
that
people
one
call
for
your
me.
people.
have my people call your people.
My people will call your people, and my people will talk to your people, and your people will talk to my people, and we'll all get together and go, this is a stream for ants.
God damn it.
And then we'll all look at my crotch.
Not all bad.
Hold on, we need to address something in the chat right now.
Wait,
Chat,
chat.
how is there an echo? Because if there's an echo, it's Evilbunny's fault, and you're to let her know by spamming the chat by saying Evilbunny is bad. It should feel bad.
I agree.
Or you just run through the basic chat spam. So you go, hey chat, 1, 2, 3, and see what happens.
No echo. But what's going on, chat? What is up,
Oh, there's people here.
Oh, there's people here.
Do we allow people?
Why are you trying to insult me?
We're not insulting.
It's because you have no power here. Big Mandibar now.
Jesus saves you. What's up? What's up, Genzuri? Amant?
It's Jinsri.
Jinsuri?
Oh my God, dude.
You know, I'm just gonna
Stop
butcher.
butchering names.
I will do what I want, woman.
Whoa.
Do you know how many times I've seen your stream, like, over the past year as my friend? And
At
I've been
least
like,
4.
Jesse can't even fucking pronounce that name. What's wrong with him?
Please. Jesse, please.
I'm not apologizing.
That's
At
it,
all.
we're all right.
Oh god, Jesse was.
Moblord, I like that emote.
What emote? Is it cool?
The please emote. You
The
need
plus.
that. Human needs that. When
do.
he always
Please,
says please to you.
Liz.
That is a pretty legit emo.
Wait, are we spamming emotes?
No, that is not.
Make
How
it
what
much
no.
do you like having an internet connection?
I enjoy having it.
Whoa, is that a DDoS threat?
Oh.
Like, I'm just wondering where that question's going. How much do you like internet connection? Let's see you live without it.
I like my internet connection. Well,
You know, I used to like my internet connection, and then,
and then you took an arrow to the knee?
I was gonna say, then I had Evilbunny on here, but, you know. That works too.
I didn't know this was like a bash me kind of session.
Oh, come on.
What else would it be? That's the only reason I
I'm
invited
trying-
you.
I'm trying
You're
to
the
help
famous
you,
one,
you
Aaron.
son of a bitch.
I know.
Wait,
Oh,
Aaron's
I only have 900 follows and I haven't even streamed.
I'm not Twitch famous. I just love the communities and everybody kind of likes me a little. So
I didn't vote for
I'm
you.
lovable, damn it.
Oh my god. This is gonna be amazing.
Did you know our awesome Co-Carnage retweeted me? Yay!
Let's see.
Oh, Carnage? Who's that? Never heard of him.
You'll actually meet some mods that aren't mad with power here. Gatlin.
No one
Geek
mad
is
with power
my
around here.
real life brother. He's trying to get my ire up. Don't mind him.
I can time him out.
And don't address the chat directly by name. They're peasants.
They're not peasants. Look, just because it's finally your chance to be like, fuck you. I don't want to know about you eating ham. Okay. You can be nice. I'm gonna be nice to them because they're awesome. You can be a
Oh,
bitch
look
because you're
at Evil
Canadian.
Bunny getting on chat's good side already.
Mm-hmm. What a kiss ass.
Shut up, Jesse. You had no pants on.
Why would I?
Proper answer.
I'm also not wearing pants.
Pants are 100% overrated.
I
I'm
remember
actually,
that pizza stream and you had to put on pants before you could go to the door.
dude. I seriously, literally, the only reason I canceled the treat stream is because I had to start wearing pants on cast. I was like, fuck this.
Hey, Goddess Pink.
Seriously, like I don't think the pizza boy, like the pizza guy, would be delivering pizza and he'd see my sausage. So that probably wasn't ideal.
That's what you think. It could have been glorious.
Oh my god, Moblord, no. No, 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 no.
So sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh yes,
I
if you're
completely
watching the
missed
stream and
that.
it's your
I was
first time
tweeting.
here, make sure to hit follow to follow Retroactive J. He's really good at podcasts. He's gonna be super famous one day, and you want to be on his follow list. Yeah.
That advertisement.
If
Yeah,
you
sound
wanted
clip
a
of
real
that?
life, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to give you a warning, Jesse. If you want a real life Cartman, we have one. He's just Canadian.
If you follow the stream, you will be notified when the next cast goes live.
God damn it. Alright,
Except
so
when Twitch breaks.
it's the top of the hour. I'm gonna go ahead and get things started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Real Talk Podcast, episode 22, or 23, I'm sorry, I don't even know what episode this is. My name is Jesse, I'll be your host for the evening, and, guys, I do appreciate and thank you all for being here. Today is going to be a special podcast, for those of you who don't know. I'm sure most of you already know, but for those of you who don't know, it's going to be the Modcast. We're going to see the inner workings of all these crazy people's minds behind the, Twitch sword. I mean, I'm sorry, that's probably not an appropriate way to say that. We're gonna see how it's like to manage a community and all the things they do behind the scenes to help the Twitch streamers. I think one of the things that's been brought up time and time again on the Real Talk Podcast is how do we go about modding people, and how do we find good mods? What is a good mod? What, the basic behind the scenes thing. So, truth be told, I'm gonna be a little bit lost, and they're gonna give me a run for my money, and it's gonna be hell for me, most likely. Thanks, Evilbunny. Anyways, let's introduce Evilbunny first, since she's to blame for all this. She has helped organizing all this, getting Barry, Moblord, and Red Eye Monster on here. She's actually the one who, for the first one I came to for this, and then she was like, hey, I know who would be great for this, and who would give us all the insight. So, Evilbunny, tell us who you are, what you're about, and what you do, and give us a breakdown of who you are as a person, and why we should be following you, even though you haven't even turned on a stream, even though you already got 900 followers, and I'm kind of jealous. I mean, what?
Are you babbling now, Jesse?
Maybe. Just
Alright,
introduce yourself. And for those of you in chat, can you throw some hearts in for Evilbunny?
Hi, lovelies. I'm Evilbunny, or Aaron, or Bunny, or Evil. A lot of people call me a lot of different names, and I'm okay with that. Barry calls me Bunny. And anyway, I mod for the Amazing Co-Carnage, and for many Coalition streamers. I'm big-time Coalition member, as well as lots of other streams too, including Jay's. Jesse and I have been friends for a while, so if you hang here, you know me. As far as things about me, I just got involved in Twitch kind of by accident. I stumbled across it one night when I was coming home from work and needed something to do, and I was like, oh, what's this thing on Xbox? What's Twitch? I clicked it, found a stream, and it ended up being Dan's Gaming. And Dan's Gaming was the first channel I started watching, and then I was like, who's these people he's talking to? So I went and got online and got into his chat, was there active every day, and ended up being modded by him. That was my first modship, was Dan's Gaming, and it kind of took off from there, of me getting super involved with streams that I really felt passionate about, and that's how I ended up with Go. Go is one of the most amazing streamers you could be around and interact with.
Alright. Next up, let's see. Barry, tell us who you are, what you do, what you're about, and introduce yourself to the stream, and give us a breakdown. And ladies and gentlemen of the chat, can you throw in some hearts for Barry?
Hello, my name is Barry Carline. Don't boo me. My name is Barry Carline. My day job is e-commerce. I basically build and manage everything to do with all things e-commerce related at a arts and crafts shop here in Manchester. I've now been on Twitch for 18 months now. And I started out by doing the same as Evilbunny. I was watching Twitch on Xbox at the time over Christmas. I started out by watching Shy Boy doing Minecraft, and then from there I went on to see what else was on Twitch, which has then led me into a couple more Minecraft streamers such as Deathfishcraft, and then from there I've branched out to different casters that are on at different times of the day. So there was at one point where I was actually watching about 18 hours a day of Twitch, And then from there, I've slowly gone on to being more of a moderator and a bit more less of a viewer. And then now you find myself in a handful of streams where I moderate, or I build chatbots, or I look after various bits of people's infrastructure. So you might find yourself in a stream and find out that the stream is being managed by one of my bots, whereas at the moment I'm running, I don't know, about 25, 30 bots at the moment. So you may find a bot that lives in Deathridge's channel, or some of my supporting bots will live in Co-Carnage's channel. I don't run the main bot there, but then a lot of my bots live in several channels at the moment, and you might be quite surprised to find out which bot is one of mine in a channel that you might frequent. But yeah, basically I'm an engineer. I build stuff. I'm not limited to moderation or chatbots. I also build donation systems and notifiers such as subscriptions or donations. But at the moment, some of the larger casts that I manage or help out even is Co-Carnage in the UK afternoons, or Deathwish Craft UK mornings, and UK evenings. You'll find myself in Wild Chat. But then that's where I generally am on Twitch at the moment. But I do look after a lot of moderation stuff for a lot of people at the moment. So that's me in a nutshell, basically.
Word. All right. And let's see. We're going to move on to the guy who booed Barry. Red Eye Monster.
What's up, buddy?
Let's see. Tell us introduce yourself to the stream. Tell us who you are, what you're about, what got you into Twitch, and, give us a breakdown. And, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, if you could, once again, do me a favor and show some love for Red Eye Monster for being here today.
And follow my Twitter. I want to be super internet famous. Alright, so I'm Red Eyed Monster. I've been around Twitch since before it was Twitch. First stream I ever watched was Towley, way back in the day. I was playing WoW at the time, and someone was like, "Hey, you need to watch this streamer guy. He's about to raid Moongarden, and it's a roleplay server, and he's gonna get in super trouble." So I'm like, "Yeah, I want to be a part of that." Turn the stream on, and then I've been watching streams every day ever since. I've modded for some of the biggest StarCraft 2 streams. I've modded the original Hunger Games and the first Survivor Games DayZ events with 20 to 30,000, member chats. A lot of chaos there. I've also modded a lot of smaller streams, but nowadays, started working for Co-Carnage, I've actually moved away from the chat modding aspect, and now I handle his video highlighting, his editing, and manage his YouTube. And I'm very cool and super good looking, as you can see by the picture.
All right. And last but not least, Moblord, could you introduce yourself to the stream and tell us who you are, what you're about, what got you into Twitch, who you mod for, and what do you do? Give us a full breakdown. They've done it 3 times before. I'm sure you figured out the pattern by now. And guys, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, once again, could you throw some hearts and show some love and support for Moblord for being here today?
Hi, I'm Moblord. I'm not usually seen. This is probably my first podcast or appearance on Twitch, really, apart from a couple guest spots and other spots. But it's a pleasure to be here. I mod for about 20 different channels. I got started on Twitch about 2 or so years ago. I was into some first-person shooter guild type stuff before Twitch, and I was actually with some guild mates when I heard about Twitch the first time, and we looked at Twitch as maybe a way to extend our guild presence on Twitch. And I was thinking about streaming myself at that time, but I ran across a streamer. Her name was Ara Gaming, and she was playing a game called Landmark, which I was interested in. It had just come out, and she only had about 30 followers at that time. But I stuck with her, and she had just gotten started, and I had just gotten started, and I thought, well, I'd love to help this person out. I became mod there first. Time goes on, 30 followers turns into 3,000, turns into 300 concurrent, turns into bigger things. I got to be there at every step of the way as a moderator, helping her out, and I think I learned a lot of things during that, and I got to meet a lot of people during sticking with one channel that way early on. But she introduced me to some people, and that was kind of the really cool thing, because I got introduced to someone named Omid, who had this great idea of, let's start up a Twitch streaming team. So he founded O Team, and Aura and one other person was the founding members of that. And very early on, they brought me in as her main mod. They brought me into that group, and I got to be kind of at the ground level of a Twitch team, and I got to learn how to do Twitch team stuff. I was the talent scout and some of that stuff as well for that team. Since that time, things have kind of kept expanding and kept growing. I have this personal philosophy that I'm not going to just say no to projects. And so as projects come up, I just say, that sounds great. How can we make that happen? This is still such a growing place to be. And one of the things that I've been in lately is Omid has kind of moved on from some of the Twitch team stuff into more of a talent management stuff. So I'm one of the members of Online Performers Group, OPG, and we do Twitch talent management and agency style work. So that's another hat that I have now. And something else that I've been doing lately is I've been doing some data scraping type activities for reports that I'm creating. I'm trying to do predictions on Twitch and try to do some interesting report stuff. As time goes on, I think, things have continued to evolve for me. I'm not as much as active on the day-to-day chat moderation, but that's really where I started, and that's really where I think a lot of people who are starting today. And I would love to explore with more people, what's the next level? You're banning people in chat. How can you take it to the next level to help both the streamer and to help yourself, as you maybe try to grow your own brand, if that's something that you're considering doing on Twitch. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. All right, appreciate it, man. And let's see, to kick us off, I got a couple of topics here. I got a whole list of topics, and you know what? We're gonna start really simple, and we might get a little bit more intricate. I'm gonna probably ask you guys a little bit more about behind the scenes, but to start us off, how do you recommend people choose their mods, or how do you get involved in modding a channel? Like, is it just, how do you recommend for streamers picking mods? Like, as you can tell, I've had streamers who've had experiences having bad mods, and then, how a mod can ruin a chat, or they can help, or they can significantly help a chat. Honestly, I like to say, at a certain point, when somebody is modded in a chat, they are, basically a community leader at a certain point, one could say. You can argue with me otherwise, but if anybody wants to take this one first,
trivia questions.
I don't mind.
Trivia questions. If you're looking for mods and they can't answer 3 trivia questions about you, they'd be bad mods, and they don't love you, will not worship you.
Trivia.
No,
I can't tell how serious you are, but I'm willing to try that.
You're not really looking for people that are going to worship you. But the main thing is, you want to find people that, if you're an established streamer, not just one that's starting out, because I can touch on that in a minute. But if you're an established streamer, you're wanting to find people that are invested in your stream, that are showing that they really care, that are showing up daily, or at least every other day, that they're answering questions in chat to other people. They're being active. They're actually making people want to come back, and they're getting that interaction up, because sometimes when you're focus mode in a game, you're not able to interact with your chat. That's what your mods are for. You want people that are going to engage your audience and make them want to return.
Alright, so I'm still kind of curious about this trivia questions. What trivia questions would you have them ask? I know this is a joke, but what's important to you, Red Eye?
The first mod I was ever given in any chat, I had to answer a trivia question about what the person had played the week before. And it was actually open to a lot of people. And I was the only person that got it right. The answer was Final Fantasy VI. And I was given mod, and because of that, you have to really believe that people who are going to mod for you are going to be there. Best way to do that is ask questions. Say, hey, if you want to be my mod, all right, what did I play the most last month? What music do I listen to? You have to get to know these people to have a good mod streamer relationship. And honestly, just throwing trivia questions out into the chat while you're playing, while you're still a small streamer, you're gonna see the names stand out and people who actually pay attention to your stream. So it was said partially in jest, but that's a good place to start. Is to get those names, see the numbers in the names in chat. Who's actually paying attention? That's where you got to start.
All right, and evil. Oh, sorry.
It's a combination of the trivia questions is an easy way to easily spot somebody who's being about, but then you've also got the trivia questions a good way. Another way is that if you've been active in chat, is that the streamer will notice you as well as the other mods that are already there. So it's, as well as the trivia questions, you've also got people who are community members will see who is in your chat on a regular basis, and they themselves will be able to suggest mods, as well as the other mods that you already have.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And to touch on Evilbunny, what you said, now, you would say it's more important to have an active mod, not even, would you say even not so much on the modding aspect of, banning people or getting rid of people so much compared to just having a conversation with people and engaging the audience is one of your biggest things you feel like is important for the community?
Well, there's several different mod types, and they really complete your stream if you have the whole, trifecta of them.
Mm-hmm.
The first mod type you're looking for is really the one, because if you're a growing streamer, and I'm not saying you're one of the top tier streamers, I'm saying, let's just say you're growing just, where you are exactly. You're going to want people to engage your chat. You want people to make them want to come back, so you have that particular mod. The next mod that you're looking for, or that you would want to have, is sometimes you're going to have those that are like, I'm not so chat active, but they do care about you as a streamer, and they're looking out for you. And it could be an IRL friend, or it could be someone that you've established a relationship with, and via Twitch, because you've met a lot of people on Twitch that are really considered IRL friends for you. So they really have your best interest at heart. Those are the people that may ninja mod, so to speak. They'll be the ones that are just quietly looking, and they're behind the scenes, but they see, hey, this person's posting something they shouldn't be posting to your channel. This person is trying to promote someone else's channel in my stream. Or this person is trying to, threaten me, or just something along those lines where it's negative and derogatory, and your chat doesn't want to be involved with that. And then the third type of mod that you're really looking for is you're looking for someone that likes to do stuff to help innovate your stream. They want to either increase your YouTube, they want to help you on the tech side where they're going to increase things, or they're going to supply art if you're not that artistically inclined. You're looking for that kind of mod. So yes, that can be branched off into different areas, but that's a particular mod type you're looking for, is someone that's going to help your innovation side of things.
All right, Moblord, and what would you say? How should streamers go about finding mods? And would you agree with Evilbunny on the whole different aspects of modding aspect? And do you have anything to add on to that?
Agree. I totally agree with what Evilbunny said so far. I think one of the big mistakes that people make, though, and just to touch on some things that you probably should not do, a lot of people just assume that they should bring in all of their personal buddies to be their own moderators for their channel.
I've seen that.
I've seen that go badly so many times, because one, either they'll have a disagreement with that person and you might lose a real life friendship because of something stream related, which is stupid, or the person will think that they have extra privileges over the streamer just because, hey, I'm their friend, there's no way that they do anything to me, and they start just going off at the mouth and spreading the kind of stuff in your chat that it's not the kind of environment that you're trying to build. So
to interject one thing at that point is that if you bring in your real life friends, is that if you've got in-jokes between all of your friends, you can very easily alienate a random viewer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think another mistake that people make is just to talk about things that should not be done. Another mistake that I think people make is adding on too many moderators too quickly. And this is something I see all the time in small streams, where they're planning as if they're going to have 300 people there, but they maybe only have 30 people there, and half of them have a moderator sword. And it's just this, green wall, you call it, just a wall of swords. And that's a no-no. There's a ratio between the number of viewers and the number of moderators that you really need. And if a bunch of your moderators are not active, and so you have to keep adding on new moderators, then maybe that's more of a sign that you need to remove some moderators before you add some moderators as well. And I know that streamers, who are trying to be cool and hip, they don't want to remove anybody because they're afraid of, hurting feelings. But that's another very common mistake that people make. But yeah, usually the mods that you should add are the people who are the friendly, courteous, mature. They can keep a conversation going if they need to. They have some kind of intelligence, either artistic, or they have some bot managing experience, or they've modded for other people, or whatever else. Usually, as if you're observant and you're engaged with your audience, you can pick up on some things. And if you have a quality right arm man moderator too, they're probably scouting for additional mods as well. So definitely take feedback, like Barry was saying, from your other mods. But yeah, that's kind of my general advice.
So, as you say that, I'm thinking to myself, fuck, look at that mod wall in my chat.
I know, this guy's so unprofessional, buddy.
Mod wall OP!
I'm already messing up.
We really just need more viewers, not less mods. So let's put on that.
Damn it. Getting called out already.
Oops.
So, I mean...
No, you're doing fine. I mean, again, the whole reason, and everyone, if they've tuned in and watched some of your streams, they know that you mod people that are going to be here, that are that are on your podcast with you. Mm-hmm. So, in this case, we are not casters. I know I'm one of your normal mods, but I mean, the rest of them are, guest mods of the day, so they get their honorary sword. But
I don't even know this guy.
I mean, I've given you permission to ban people, so, I mean, you're welcome.
Sweet.
But, on the side note, I know a lot of people, are intimidated by the mod wall, and how big of a factor is that? Because, I know, I actually try to stay away from the mod wall, but it gets, really big in certain scenarios, especially when during the podcast and whatnot, when I mod extra people on here, and then all the other casters who I've had on here as well. But what mod walls scare me. I don't like them, says Jesse Cole. But how
it's kind of like when you go to a social situation and there's this clique of people who are all kind of the cool kids who are just talking amongst themselves and laughing. They've got their own private jokes, and it's really hard for the newcomer to break into that circle. And I think that if your mods are aware of that, you might have some mods be quiet on purpose just so that they're not flooding the wall, or you might have some mods who purposely try to engage and pick up conversations with the new people coming in. So that can help break down this sort of private clique thing that you get going. Gotcha. But I think it's actually a pretty bad problem for a lot of small channels is too many mods and not enough regular chatters. So, I mean, there might be a thing that you could work out with mods, like, hey, I don't have enough people viewing yet to keep you a full-time moderator, but you're first on the list once they do have some more attendance, maybe? That might be something you could do with some people, and they'd probably understand.
Guys, I'm going to issue pink slips after the stream.
I think I'm getting the first one.
Most likely.
But there's an alternative point to that, is that if you... there's been a couple of cases where I've been in that situation where I'm a moderator for a chat, and I've seen that it's getting a bit mod heavy. So normally what I'll do is I'll leave my chat open with me logged in so I can ninja mod, and I'll switch to one of my alternative accounts so I'm chatting as a viewer without a sword next to me, and then if I need to, I can switch windows and do my moderation duties. So there's that ability as well, which is handy to have if you find yourself in a situation. And some mods don't realize that they can just pop incognito in Google Chrome or Firefox or whatever and have chat open again in another account, so they can switch between the two.
Yeah, actually, that's actually a very valid point. One of the things I was actually going to ask you guys is what are some of the tools you guys use for moderating, whether it be something as simple as that, going incognito on another account or anything like that, or bot. I know a lot of you guys talked about bot usage, setting up bots, or even just I guess even better, Twitch TV could even be considered a tool on its own. What are some things you really recommend as far as either for the streamer or even for mods for using for being on Twitch? And we'll start with you, Barry, since you brought up the incognito idea, as well as the different usernames and all that to be able to communicate.
Everyone will start out differently. I know a lot of moderators will start out with using Better Twitch TV because Better Twitch TV gives you a very nice, decent set of tools that gives you all of the basic bits and pieces you need to moderate with from the get-go. It gives you something better than just those two little buttons next to everybody's name in chat, which are fine for reaching for, but can very easily lead to accidentally misclicking or grabbing the wrong person. Whereas Better Twitch TV, especially more recently, gives you the little mod card key press stuff. So you click a name and you can just press a key and boom, it's done. And Better Twitch TV just helps out with that. I myself have stopped using Better Twitch TV for various reasons, basically because I have far better tools now and I don't need Better Twitch TV anymore. But so Better Twitch TV is important for starting out. A lot of people will stay with it or move on to other things. But the important thing with misclicking is if you do misclick, undo what you did and immediately apologise to the viewer, which is a very important thing to do because then they know that you misclicked and the other mods know
Barry.
that you misclicked.
To touch on that too, anybody who has done the misclick, please, for the love of God, if you're a new mod or if you're a tenured mod, disable those mod icons. They are not your friend. I don't care what you think, they are not your friend. You'll accidentally click one of them more often than not. So disable those. It's easier to click on their name and click purge, timeout, whatever, than it is to have to, oh crap, I accidentally, clicked one of those mod icons again. So don't do that. Just please don't do that. Disable those if you can.
With Better Twitch TV, you can just turn off the default buttons. And one thing that catches a lot of people out when you first start using Better Twitch TV, and if you're not using the extra tools, is that Better Twitch TV reverses the buttons. Whereas Twitch default goes ban and then timeout, Better Twitch TV reverses them, which will catch you out to start with if you don't realise that. But of course, you shouldn't be using the buttons because you've got Better Twitch TV and should be using the extra tools that it provides. But Better Twitch TV will help you starting out. I don't use it anymore anyway myself. Better Twitch TV is useful. You can use Chrome Incognito with a second account, which is handy if you're having a mod wall situation. Very easy to get away from if you have another account. Always, if you are running multiple accounts, it's remember that if you're using multiple accounts, make sure to log out of the other multiple account and switch to the right multiple account, because the number of times I've been sat in another account, gone to type something, and then gone, oh, I'm logged in as a bot right now, I need to log out and switch accounts because I'm in the wrong account right now, which is fun when I'm managing about 25 to 30 different Twitch accounts at the moment. But more often than not, I just have to close Incognito, reopen a new Incognito, and it just handles it all for me. But I caught myself out today. I typed something in chat and went, no, I'll just type something in chat to force the login window. How am I still logged in as insert name of account here? Switched back and then immediately timed myself out. But hey, that's fine. But yeah, that's one of the issues of having multiple accounts.
That hurt my brain. I have no idea what you were talking about.
Especially when one of the accounts that you're dealing with is a secret project that nobody knows about yet, and it's like, oh crap. But anyway, it's one of the issues of being in a position where you sit and do lots of bot development and you end up mucking about with accounts. But I use Better Twitch TV, multiple accounts. These days, Twitch's new Whisper system is interesting and useful in its own ways. I'm now running 2 bots based on the Whisper system. One of them is logged into Twitch as a regular viewer, and it just listens for whispers and then it relays them to me. because my working theory is if a bot comes into the channel and decides to send to everyone in the channel, send 5 kappas to stop me whispering you, and then people start running chat with 5 kappas in chat, theoretically my account that's logged in as a non-mod should pick up that whisper, because the whisper bot shouldn't be whispering the mods, because they don't want the mods to see that they want everyone to spam. So I have a whisper bot set up that will listen for that and tell me that there's a whisper going around. And I also have an answering machine, so if you actually whisper me, you'll hit my answering machine and it'll say, "Thank you for your message. It has been logged for later sorting out." Basically the same as a phone answer machine. But that's a couple of my new tools that I've come up with.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, that's some of my general stuff. I have a couple of other bits and pieces which I'll keep secret, because there's some stuff I won't reveal all of my secrets. But one of the largest things that I do run is that I'm actually connected to Twitch chat via IRC, and out of all of the channels that I lurk in, I have very specific keywords set up. So if somebody's looking for me, I will get an audio-visual notification, so I can very easily pop over and pop in. Now, Better Twitch TV has recently come out with that feature, but it's very beta, and I don't think they've got it completely working yet. And of course, I've stopped using Better Twitch TV, and it means you've got to have a Google Chrome window open all the time, whereas I can just sit with my IRC client all the time because it barely uses any system. But that's a quick summary of some of the things that I do.
Which IRC client do you use? Because I know a lot of mods use Chatty. Which do you recommend?
Chatty's not an IRC client. It's a Java application.
Right. But
Boo this man!
I know.
Oh my god, nerd talk.
I know it's hurting my head too, Aaron.
Chatty is very nice for moderation, I've been told. I don't use it myself, and it currently doesn't have whisper support, because I've been sat in a IRC channel having fun listening to the developer of Chatty go, "Oh my god."
What do you? Because you said you don't use Chatty, and you do you mod from the IRC, or do you have some other tool that you're not going to tell us?
I generally use vanilla Twitch chat.
Really?
I generally moderate directly from vanilla Twitch chat.
Really?
The main reason I've got the IRC client open, because I'm largely Mac-based at the moment, I'm using a program called Colloquy, which I probably need to shuffle off from soon because it's not been updated for a while. But I use Colloquy, which just sits there for logging and audio-visual notifications. But I also use the Linux command line application IRSSI, which I'll go into for if I'm not directly at this machine. If I'm out and about, I'll just pop straight into that, because that's also always on as well. So I'm always on from like 3 different locations in Twitch chat.
Aaron,
some of them
when do we get to talk about fun stuff like boobs?
Rem, please.
Oh, sorry, buddy. Sorry, I forgot.
Rem, please, you interrupted me. I've lost my thread now. I'm distracted by boobs.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm Mac-based.
We'll get to boobs later.
I'm using Colloquy at the moment.
So,
Jesse's boobs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was gonna ask more about, the Twitch tools and all that you guys use, but boobs?
And Slack.
Slack has kind of taken over as like a side to Twitch. If you are a really good mod, if you're a really good streamer, you've got your team involved with Slack. Slack is, it's an application. It's similar to Skype without the phone feature, just and no video. You have API. You have access to actually link in your bots to your channel through it. You have access to be able to talk to your moderators during your stream. A lot of streamers have really gone towards Slack.
Alright, thank you for the link, Moblord. I was actually just about to ask if you could link in that. So, basically, this is able to, you said, link in your bots and link it. It's basically just
It's
Skype without
one
the
of-
video. Or...
Well, it's one of the best communication tools you can have with your mods. So if you've got a good stream going and you're really heavy into your game, your chat's going, your mods are doing their job, everything's going perfect, but somebody asks a question that only you would know, but your focus mode, your mods can ping you in Slack and you'll get a little pop-up or however you set your notifications. And you'll be like, oh, okay, they need to know this. It's something that I actually have to take like 2 seconds to really answer, but it'll pull your attention away. So sometimes Red Eye picks on us because he's our YouTube guy and he hears that ta-ta-ta because that's Ko's notification. I think Elo has a different notification. I loved Elo's thumbnail the other day where he accidentally did have boobs on stream. And we just...
that was awesome.
Yeah, we use Slack to really be able to message the streamer when it's something important. Boobs are important. So
Boobs are.
Yes, Slack itself is widely used in the web development industry and in various industries anyway, because it's a great communication tool. It's similar to HipChat, but a lot of people have been moving back and forth between the two because they both have different levels of how much it costs to do this, how much it costs to do that. Although a lot of Twitch streamers can get away with just using the free tier of Slack, whereas if I remember rightly, HipChat doesn't have a long free tier, which is why a lot of people tend to use Slack. And Slack, one of the benefits of Slack is that people can connect to it via IRC, but they can connect to both Twitch chat and Slack chat over IRC, and they don't have to change their working practice because they're just using IRC.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's back up for a second. I think a lot of people assumed that the chat groups that used to be, when the mods need to communicate with each other or with a streamer, a lot of people you would have heard talk about Skype groups or even Steam groups, Steam chat. I've seen some streamers use that. Slack is so much better than either of those. And just to kind of outline the general features, the biggest thing that you don't want from Skype is you don't want to be giving away your IP address. And oftentimes people's Skype is attached to their real life identities, not necessarily their gaming identities.
And
so they're
Moblord, real quick to tie in with that, the big thing is, we did touch on it earlier, bad mods. You don't want to have that bad mod in your Skype group with your personal information, your IP, and they're like, okay, well, let's send somebody to, Jesse's house besides the pizza man. So, I mean,
Do they want to see my sausage?
Slack offers a lot more protection than having those Skype groups and having those Steam groups, because even through Steam, you can get someone's information if you dig hard enough.
Well then, guys, my stream's probably going to be taken down very shortly with that information. My god, Evilbunny, I swear to god, I don't think half the bad mods I've had would have ideas if you don't... Can you stop giving them good ideas to get back at me?
Stop using Skype. Skype is poop.
Yes, I would say that 90% of the DDoS attacks that I've experienced came from Skype. And it's such a bad deal.
That's just because you've got Skype set up wrong.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. But Skype in general
I
is
challenge
rather
anyone
insecure.
to get my Skype IP.
I don't know if you want to do that.
Things I would not challenge people for.
But
That is one of them.
You're right. You can change the settings. You can use either a proxy or VPN specifically for Skype if you wanted. You can pass it through a web host. You can do a number of things to protect yourself using Skype, but in general, I prefer not to use Skype at all, just because Slack doesn't have ads. Slack has the ability to add Kappa emotes. Slack has the ability to separate conversations by topic. Slack has the ability to customize your notifications and pop-ups and color schemes, and you can have all kinds of integrations with bots to all kinds of stuff. So yeah, Slack is awesome. HipChat is also pretty cool, but I haven't used it. I've stuck with Slack, and if you want more information about how to tie in bot stuff to it, Barry has done more on this kind of topic than anybody I know. I've done some stuff separately from him, but Barry's done a bunch of stuff with Slack, so he would be a good resource for that.
I'm a bit of an API nerd. One of the things that I absolutely love doing in life is taking that API, this API, that API, merge them all together and make something drop out at the bottom. That is my true specialty in life, is taking APIs and making magic happen.
His his like true specialty is being in the United States. He may appear to be in the UK, but if you look at TeamSpeak, anytime you're there, he's in the States. He's always talking about the States. He even said he doesn't even know what Nando's is. He's not been there, so he's not in London. Or in England, rather.
We don't believe your lies, Barry.
No, look at TeamSpeak right now. It says I'm in the UK for once.
Lies, I don't believe it. You're probably out of Taiwan. Why not?
Honestly, you just don't look trustworthy.
It's the lack of the beard. I shaved it off recently.
He looks like Dave Grohl.
Does not look like Dave Grohl.
He does too. I'm ready to hear him sing like Foo Fighters right now.
I could kind of see it.
You're a liar.
Hey,
Jesus
he also looks
Christ.
like John Lennon. He looks like a lot of musicians. John Lennon, Dave Grohl.
What you're saying is he looked like a
Turbos.
skeezy grunge bander from the late 90s? Because that's like a lot of... Because that's what he looks like, I'm just saying.
Anyways, moving on. Red Eye Monster, you said, well, not only do you moderate in chats, you also handle the YouTube aspect of it. And I've actually had somebody ask me, like I was telling you earlier, is how important are highlights, and are there any tools in particular how you go about doing highlights and exporting things to YouTube, or do you just use Twitch and deal with the system they got, or how do you?
These are all very good questions, most of which I'll ignore because I've already forgotten them. But what we're going to start with is a lot of Twitch streamers believe that the only time people are in their chat and care about them is when they're online. And this is not true. To build a community, you have to realize that people around the world want to watch what you do. And without a proper highlight schedule, without highlighting the good bits, just leaving empty naked VODs on your channel, it's not really going to cater to those people who want to catch up with what you did in the past.
Naked mods? Are you talking about Barry?
I mean,
Yes.
Why would you guys wear clothes? You're not on stream. I mean,
Listen,
honestly,
I may have misspoken.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I've thought about going without a cam so I could just be naked while I game and stream.
That's what
Just
I'm
throwing
doing.
that out there.
Just saying.
I do know somebody that actually streamed naked because they had to turn their stream off because they were so hot in their computer room.
I remember when
They're
Tally used to stream with no pants on. He's like, okay,
Yeah.
the maid's coming. I gotta blank out the screen for a second to put the pants on. Shout out to Tally. But no, going back to the question, highlights foster people being in your chat all the time and having something to talk about. Because if you stream from, lunchtime to 6 p.m. EDT or EST, whatever the shit it is right now, a lot of people in Europe are going to miss that. And they're maybe not going to want to watch a whole VOD to catch up the next day when they get up or before they go to bed. So generating highlights, even if it's just for your Twitch account, is still super important. And once you do it a couple of times, it's not hard. And then, of course, you can go from highlights, the transition right to YouTube's right there. It's already built into Twitch. It's very simple to do. You just, connect the YouTube to your Twitch, and you hit export after you name stuff, put some tags in there so the Google algorithms can search it out, and then pow, you're building your own YouTube. And that's, again, building a community even when you're not on the air. And using those tools is very important, whether you're a small streamer or a big streamer. Now, it's not for everyone. Let's be frank, it's not for everyone. A lot of streamers love to play music all the time, copyrighted music. And hey, for anyone who's looked at a VOD over the last 6 months, for people who play music, shit's muted all to hell. And the same thing, if it's muted on Twitch, 100% of the time, even if you local capture to get around the muting, put it on YouTube, it's gonna get claimed, you're not gonna make any money off it. So it's not for everyone, but the potential is there for everyone if they decide to apply it.
Gotcha.
The
Now,
other thing to touch on with local recording is that it is possible to set up your local record so that your local record isn't recording music. So you've got a local record which just does microphone and no music, which will also help.
Yeah, that's one of the other things. Also, how important, this sounds really kind of dumb right now, but how important would you say the tagging aspect are when exporting these videos to highlights and onto
Humongous.
YouTube?
That's a fabulous question. When you upload a highlight or any video to YouTube, the only chance you get to add keywords into the Google search algorithm, which again is when somebody goes to Google and says, I want to see a picture of a skunk fart on a kid. Well, if you don't have those as your keyword in your... that's an example. Come on, guys. Just an example.
I mean, I kind of want to see that now.
Yeah, if you don't have those keywords under the tagline in your video, it doesn't matter what you call it. It doesn't matter what you put in the, the other notes underneath. It won't come up in those searches. So you won't even get those random hits. So and as soon as that video finishes processing, no matter what tags you put in there, it doesn't matter. It's already in the Google search algorithm. So it's crazy important to get those when you're highlighting them and putting it up on YouTube, or nobody's not gonna know what's up there. So you're not gonna get those random people discovering your stuff.
One more question. So you do a lot of highlights for Co, and with that said, does Co tell you, hey, I need you to go at this point, or do you search through the broadcast? And I'm not gonna lie, there's been a lot of times on my cast where I'm like, I don't feel like there's any content worth highlighting. I don't know if I should just highlight just for the heck of it, or or maybe I'm just being too picky with my highlights or something like that. What would you recommend in that kind of scenario as well?
Good question. As it is right now, I like to always be there on the co-cast to see if anything needs highlighting while I'm there. And while I'm there, if something cool happens, I note it down on my little spreadsheet. The mods also know when to watch out for stuff, so if I'm not there, they'll actually PM me in Slack, with the timestamp and what happened, then I'll go and find it in the VOD. And then if Co wants something done specifically, like, he's doing an unboxing for a new sponsor, or he's knew something was funny and he wants it kept for later for like a montage video, something like that, he'll just send me a note or write it in the mod chat, and then pow, it gets made. So yeah.
So
what was the other question? I forgot already.
You work on a lot of the montage. Do you do any of the montage videos?
All of them. Yeah. If it's a highlight on Co's channel, I've made it, I edit it, I put it together, and I've managed the YouTube.
Gotcha. So
not all of them. I made like 5.
Okay, you made 2 out of 75 million. Okay.
5, damn it, 5. I made
Jesus
5.
Christ.
Hey, stop fighting, please.
Oh, sorry.
Calm down, children. Anyways,
I
so
deleted your highlights too.
how important would you say is a montage video, and how hard or what programs do you use as far as like putting those together?
Fantastical question. This is going to branch off to a lot. So if Barry, Mob, and Aaron, if you want to just peace out and go get a sandwich or something, I'm going to just gibber over here for a while. So I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to stop me if I talk too much. One of the most important jobs on Twitch, very few people are doing, and that is what I do, which is somebody who has the time and the ability or the desire to learn how to do what I do. Very few people have that.
Of course he says it's the most important job.
It's the reason why I say it's very important is mods will mod chat, but chat doesn't make the streamer money. And somebody who has the desire to help a caster, the best way and easiest way to do it is through learning how to highlight. Casters just don't have the time. When you've got big casters, normal casters, small casters who are streaming for 8 to 12 hours a day and have families and have other side jobs or real jobs and they're streaming on the side, they don't have the time to make highlights and help promote themselves like what we were talking about before. So the best things anyone can do is you have a Twitch account, broadcast something, anything. It can be 15 minutes of static. It doesn't matter. Learn from YouTube videos, from other videos, how to chop it up properly, how it works to upload to YouTube, and that'll get you in the door. Because if I could split myself into 20 to help out the streamers that I like, I would do that. Because they just don't have the infrastructure built up to support that. Learning how to make highlights will put you ahead to help the Twitch streamers you love the most. And they need that. They really do. And the best way to start out is learning to make highlights on Twitch. It's super easy. You can do your own stuff. You don't have to touch other people's stuff. Learn on your own. Start out editing with like Windows Movie Maker.
So much.
What?
I hate doing highlights so much.
You need some. I know. See, you need someone who's like, hey man, I got a couple hours a day. Let me chop your stuff up, and then you can decide if you want to send it to YouTube. That's all it takes.
Right, the key is to have a mod that's gonna, or have somebody that's willing in your stream. They don't even have to be a mod to have editor access.
Yeah.
But to have somebody that's willing and they're like, hey dude, you know, I got some spare time, I like your stream, let me make some highlights for you. Or people that are wanting to learn and grow, they can say to smaller streamers, because they are invested in you, that they want to grow from your stream, say, I want to try highlighting, do you mind if I help you out? It benefits you, it benefits them, it goes back and forth really well.
Absolutely. Now with editing, it's a whole other ballgame. Because making highlights and then saying, hey, I've made these, you know, if you want to use them, set it up to your YouTube. Learning to edit and properly function as an editor is a several-step process. First, you really got to want to do it, and it takes a lot of time. Second is to start small. Start with free programs like Windows Movie Maker and other. You can just search on Google. I know, Barry. It curdles my gums to even say it.
It'll be alright, Barry.
But it's a starting place to see if you will enjoy doing it. You just take basic clips, glue them together, see if it looks like crap, and you're like, I can do better. And then that's the progression. Then start on better software.
Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, I know. Well, you got to start with the free stuff to learn if you're gonna like it or not.
Yeah.
And then you can progress to like Sony Vegas 13, which is the middle ground for a lot of people. Also because there's a way to steal it. We're not gonna talk about that. I'm not gonna lie, I may have done that too.
I was about to say,
yeah.
Let's not
let's be real.
crimes on here.
But let's be real. No. Let's focus on the real topic. The best editing program in the world is Adobe Premiere right now.
No,
it has a payment plan
that's
per
wrong.
month. No, you're wrong.
No.
Go back to your bots, nerd.
No. The best editing program in the world is the one that you can effectively use to achieve the best results possible within your skill set.
And here's why I say Adobe Premiere is. And again, we're going to get into I'm not going to go into the prime fundamentals of it. Adobe Premiere has the most educational videos on their site. It's the most price-worthy because they have a monthly payment plan instead of having to drop $800 to $1,200 on an editing program. It's super easy to use in system and out of it, and I swear by it. Having used 6 editing programs in my life, it is the best one, and everyone can afford $20 if you're really going to commit to editing.
But that said, if you can do a better job using another program, by all means.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing is use what you can use within your own abilities.
Definitely. So.
Correct.
So, not to... I think we've delved on there, and I feel like I want to ask Moblord more about like some of the behind scenes you do as well. And if you could tell us like some of the tools you use, some of the things you've set up for casters and their communities, any insight you would get, like...
Sure. Just another note about the highlight thing. Something that mods can definitely help with, and something that you should always convey as a caster to your mods, is, hey, be on the lookout for short, highlightable moments. Usually the best highlights that I found is something in the, like 2 or 3 minute range of quick highlights that you can quickly put up on Twitch. I don't do too much with the YouTube side. For Twitch, I actually used to do quite a bit of YouTube editing in a past life. But so watch out for highlightable moments. If you have the Slack integration going with Twitch IRC, you can make these, and I think Deepbot has a command for this as well, but exclamation mark highlight, and if you give mods permission, they might be able to make little timestamp marks for you, even if you're... a lot of the time that I spend doing highlight stuff, it's simply just scrubbing the timeline, trying to find that spot that was so funny. So getting those numbers down is the most important thing. in my opinion. And maybe Red Eye will agree with me there. But
Absolutely.
Well, the uptime command too, that also helps.
Yeah,
because some
uptime.
people don't have highlight, or they don't have that particular command. They have uptime, and uptime is one of the best.
Yeah, and if you type in /uptime in Better Twitch TV, it'll give you a time there too that's private to you. So, yeah, if people if your mods will just take care of that side of things, once you do find someone who's able to do editing for you, then great, you can hand over that to that person. Or if you as a caster are reviewing your own videos, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world either, because I think oftentimes streamers do need to watch themselves. And I know it's painful for them. I know nobody wants to hear their own voice. I know, that's probably
I like
hard.
my voice.
So
Yeah, but you're egotistical.
This is true. I'm sorry, continue.
I'm not gonna
He's
lie.
also Canadian. But
I Moblord, you just blew my mind. I had no idea you can do /uptime on Better Twitch TV. I had no idea that was a thing at all.
Because
see-
Better Twitch TV don't document their changes and tell people about it.
No, like Jesse didn't even know what R9K mode is, and I had to explain that it's also for spam and spam protection.
I
and
told
he's
you
like,
guys I was a scrub
"Oh."
streamer.
His tie doesn't even match his shirt.
Bitch, please. Get the fuck out.
At least he's not a basic tie like he normally does.
Oh, but anyways, I'm sorry, Moblord.
But as far as what I do when I work with streamers, and this is another thing that I do as well, I'll have streamers who know that I do some kind of consulting type work, who are maybe they've been gone for a long time, or maybe they're making a big push to go full time, or maybe they just found out that they're supposed to be on Twitch, partnered spotlight homepage, and they're not sure if they're ready for it or whatever else. Some of those will come to me, and I'll work with some streamers. And so one of the things that I do is I kind of go down a checklist, right? And I think that I do some similar things to Evilbunny here. Evilbunny has done some of this, I think, for streamers as well. But basically, you look at their bot, you ask them what their needs are, and based on the list of needs that they tell you, you recommend a bot to them. You typically don't start them out with something that's custom made unless you're Barry and have all of the bots in the world at your disposal.
I start
Right.
people out with custom made, but it's usually just something that's plain script, and they can run IRC with it.
Nerds.
Yeah, oftentimes I'll start them off with like a night bot, or if they need a point system, start them off with like a deep bot. I have my preferences and what bots I send to. I'm not technical enough to have written my own bot yet, but I have worked with a bunch of bot creators. A bunch of bot creators are my friends on various networks too, so maybe I should spec out my own bot at some point, but that's a future project. But yeah, you walk them through bot. Sorry, you were saying something?
I was gonna say, if you guys want to hook me up with any of this, anyways, I'm really bad when it comes. I am so bad when it comes to all this technical stuff.
Just got booed.
I'm actually glad you guys are kind of schooling me with all this, because I kind of need to know all this, and I hope everybody in chat can learn from all this. But,
Everybody does. We're wicked important and smart and very good looking.
and not
I
conceited
see
at
you
all.
shaking your head.
I'm not conceited at all.
Zoom into my bedroom eyes on my picture.
There's all different kinds of mods. You've actually got a fairly talkative group of mods here. I'm going to say that the mods aren't necessarily always this talkative. I think oftentimes people are moderators because they don't want to be noticed, or they don't want their faces out there, or
Don't notice me.
some of that stuff. So, yeah, but I've been doing this long enough that I don't mind it. I think for a long time I didn't want anybody to know what I look like, or part of the reason I wasn't streaming is because I'm rather shy in general. I didn't want to be in front of a camera, but anyways, another whole story. There's all different kinds of moderator personalities too, but I'm glad this group is talkative.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Would make my
We give you something to work with, Jesse, just a little bit.
just give me something to work with, right? Now,
Can I answer the question that was asked?
yeah, I'll
Okay.
allow you to answer things.
So, someone asked, and it was actually the Stalking Wolf. How do you approach a streamer when you want to help out or help them innovate? How do you make that first contact?
Good
That
question.
first contact is you coming into their stream, being polite, following whatever their rules are, and saying hi. That's your first contact, that first impression, because they're going to be like, hey, this person wasn't a dick. That's the main thing.
They didn't spam Hitler ASCII.
Right. Follow the Wheaton rule. You're not a dick. But come in, be respectful, follow whatever rules they have. I mean, you can go to Elo Stream and say fuck all, but in co-stream, you know, it's PG-16. I love Elo Stream. I'm a mod there too, and I do similar to what Moblord does. I'm a consultant over in Elo Stream, and love it. Elo's mods are fantastic. Co's mods are fantastic. I love the streams that I'm in. But that first contact is you coming in and just feeling everything out, you know, getting used to what they have going on. And then once you see what they have going on, you can offer, hey, you know, email the streamer, because all of them have a contact email. Send them an email. If they don't respond, follow up with them like a few weeks later and say, hey, look, I have this other idea. Give them something more elaborate. Give them examples. Give them something that'll actually hook them in. You don't want to just send them, say, I have an idea, and leave it at that. Tell them what your idea is. They're not going to just snake it from you and be like, I thought of this on my own. If you're following that streamer long enough, you'll know they're not a douchebag like that.
The most important thing to realise is that as you get to know the caster, and if you choose to get involved more from being beyond just a basic viewer, the caster will have set up a way to get in touch with them, or you will figure out the best way to get in touch with them. The simplest version is either using the contact email that they've got listed on their profile page, or just dropping them a tweet on Twitter. The way that I originally got involved with the first place that I got modded in was Death Witchcraft. And the way that I originally got involved there was that Nightbot completely failed over the point where Nightbot wasn't running. And I was sat there at work and went, well, I've reverse engineered enough of Nightbot to get the commands list out of Nightbot. And I used to do a lot of stuff on IRC. Let me just dial into my server, at which point I pulled out my 15-year-old IRC bot, typed in a handful of lines of code and went, here's Nightbot's command list. And away we are 18 months later using my 15-year-old IRC bot. And it's quite happily now serving 24 different channels, and it's technically 15 years old. But that's how I got my foot in the door, was Knight left the door open for me, and I just walked in and sat down and went, hey.
Hey, and you giving them pose and everything.
Basically, yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little impressed with how long you hold that freeze frame there. It was like an 80s flick. But
I think it's a lot the same for mods the way that it is for streamers. That I think, you know, there are types of people who assume that things will be handed to them, and then there's other type of people who say, look, this is something that I can do, this is something I know how to do, or it's something how I can teach myself how to do. You know, how hard could it be? Let's just see what happens. And I think the different personalities kind of expose themselves that way, but you don't have to expect people to just hand you things. You can go out and work for various things and improve your own personal skills as a moderator just the same way that you could as a streamer. So, yeah, there's always things to be working on, things to be learning, ways to be growing, networking that you can be doing with other mods, or networking that you can be doing with other channels. You don't have to be limited by anything, really. Twitch is such a wild west as it is. You can be anybody. Yeah, that's one of the great things about it.
Actually, that's something I kind of want to know more about, is like, you're talking about networking with more mods and all that, and how, you know, is like, again, I've told you earlier, is like, you know, networking with other streamers, I've been able to learn other things about, like, using OBS, how to set up this, how to do that, how to kind of run a community at a certain point. And, you know, it's kind of nice in a sense where I'm learning from each other. And you recommend that for mods as well, being able to get in contact with each other, you know, be able to, you know, learn from one another, basically. Or is there any particular experiences you have with that, or how you went about that?
It kind of happens naturally in some regards, where, you know, if you're good at your job and other people have noticed that you're good at your job, you're going to have people who look up to you, or who add you on something like Skype or personal messaging of some sort, say, hey, how did you do that? Or, hey, that was a really cool Nightbot command. I didn't know that you could use queries like that. That's really cool. You're blowing my mind right now, kind of stuff. I think it starts off kind of naturally that way, but I wish there was a little bit more drive among moderators to kind of share their information with other moderators. There's, a stereotype of some types of moderators who are a little bit power hungry or a little bit, protective of their channels or protective of their knowledge in their channels. And I think that irritates me a bit, because I think the best experience on Twitch is had when moderators connect with other people who have their own skill sets and they share this information. I think this type of information shouldn't be, you're not really making money off of being a mod, at least most people aren't. Why wouldn't you share your information? Why wouldn't the people who are veterans train some of the people who are just coming on board? And I think the really good moderators do train other mods. The good moderators that I've worked with, they have written materials that they've used to distribute to other moderators or to streamers or to people who ask. And I think as time goes on, the good moderators will be doing that, and I'd love to see that become even more formalized. I'd love to see, networks of moderators who help each other out in different circumstances. I'd love to see paid moderators more. That's something that Co has done, but there's not too many channels out there that have paid mods yet. I'd love to see more of that. I'd love to see more job roles within.
Well, I wouldn't call it paid per se, because again, you have to remember Co is just tipping. It's not.
Well, right.
Right. He doesn't have us as an NDA, and we're not employees. We're not legally bound to him. So, it's not paid. I try to clarify that, because it crosses another line when you say that. But yeah, we're tipped. And doing that, he is pioneering a way for good moderators to stick around channels and to help innovate those channels. Because if you don't have a good support team, you do not have a good foundation for your stream. And you need to have that, because there's so many things you as a caster, when you're really getting into it and making streaming your life, you can't do all of those things. You have to have help. And those helpers are your mods. They're the people that are there day in and day out, helping you, seeing the things in chat, seeing what people want to see, giving you feedback, giving you ideas, helping get that innovation going. And it's really important to have that foundation.
Yeah, now, would you say, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not familiar with the whole tipping concept compared to the paid concept, but I do feel like it's a very valid point on Co wanting to support the people who support him. I guess is probably the way he looks at it as well, or is that the way you look at it?
A better way to describe it is that we get donations in the same way that casters get donations as co-mods. Mm-hmm. Is that Co receives donations from the community, and some of his donations that, apart from going on his own living and expenditure, he then donates to the mods. So tipping is just another way of saying donations.
Gotcha. Yeah. You guys do pretty much put in work, and for sure, especially modding a big channel like Co Carnage's, it's really nice of him, and I feel like, I feel like most of you would have done it without him doing that, but the fact that he's going out of his way to help you guys and do that for you, is pretty awesome.
And the beanie beard guy never takes a damn day off, 655 million days or whatever, so we gotta work every day. I'm just saying.
I really want them to get that sound clip. That beanie beard guy never takes. Yeah, he needs to hear that. I'm gonna quote that on his bot. Just
do it.
You can see that every fucking
this
day.
podcast will be on YouTube if anybody wants to rewatch it. God damn it, Red Eye Monster.
No, the other thing though is that him actually tipping the mods, it is amazing, because he doesn't have to. No streamer. There are several other streamers I'm aware of that actually do tip their mods, but it's not public. But those streamers, really do want to support the people that are helping them. Sometimes, it's good to do that, because if you're large enough and you can supplement yourself enough and help out the people that are really helping you, it shows your character too and makes them want to work that much harder for you. It gives them an incentive to want to show up every day. in addition to just wanting to be there and loving your community, because that's what brought them there in the first place. Me coming across Co, I haven't been there a full year yet, but I've started coming to his stream because I liked it. He had such a clean community. I really enjoyed it. Everybody there is really like family. If you go into his chat, you start interacting with those people, you know them like they're your neighbor. You can go down the street and be like, hey, I want to have a beer with you, because they're that chill. And it's like that in a lot of streams and communities, but it's something that I found in Co's and I really loved it. And that's how I grew to being there every single day, and I enjoy it. He's one amazing streamer, and just like Elo, even going in his community, even though you can say a lot of there and get away with more than you can in Co's, but it's like here. But Elo's stream, they're your friends. They're the people that it would be like, alright, I'm gonna go in the bar and hang out with you. It's not more so going to your neighbor and getting a beer. It's, hey, I'm sitting here listening to a rock band and there's all these people with liquor. So it's going from your beer to your hardcore liquors, but still, it's people you want to hang out with and interact with. It's those communities that really drives mods to wanting to come back.
Well, I think you touched on something there too. Maybe we should talk about this aspect, that there's different atmospheres that are cultivated in different communities.
Yes.
Which isn't necessarily a good or bad thing, but there's a different level of moderation work required for different types of atmospheres, I would feel, because the Coalition streamer might be very heavily moderated as far as every line of chat that's going through, even if it's a very fast line of fast type of chat with a lot of people there, 10,000 people, doesn't matter. Every line is being read by somebody because they're super engaged mods. Whereas you have some channels which might be the same size but are just, whatever goes. Whatever you can get away with, as long as you're not being the most racist guy, you're probably not going to get timed out or warned or anything. So you guys want to talk about that? There's such different atmospheres between the large streams.
Yeah, quite honestly, I have no idea how you guys mod in a channel like that. Sometimes I have problems, like, reading chat that fast, let alone, like, I can imagine modding sometimes.
I will tell you, I've actually, some days I've had to run errands and stuff, and I've modded from my phone.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's
It's
intense.
like I had initially I used to have an Android, and then I was like, well, let me go over to Apple, and I modded from both. I've modded from an Android phone, I've modded from an iPhone, and, it's not that hard to do, because once you have modded for so long, it's like, okay, I know these commands, and now my phone has saved in there /timeout /ban, and so I just have to type the /B or T, and then it already pre-fills that, and I put in the time, so I'm like, okay.
One of the cheap things with mobile is that I've also done it from mobile as well. Is that one of the cheap methods is that you can just go /ban person, because ban is shorter to type on a phone, and then you can just tidy it up later. You can always unban them and time them out. There's been cases where I've done /timeout username tab, done it, and then immediately unbanned them because all I wanted to do was purge them.
Yeah.
No,
Because
I do have
that's an easy
I
shortcut.
want to throw this out there, though. There are some viewers that are, they haven't ever really wanted to be a mod, but they've been so committed to the community that when a new mod comes along and some of the tenured mods are teaching the newer mods the ropes, they're like, I'll be a guinea pig. So you have your guinea pig that gets banned, your guinea pig that gets timed out, purged, whatever, and or permitted, all the things that you can do to a person. The person gets run through the gamut, and I think he's here. Doofy is one of those, and Doofy is just freaking amazing. He's such a really nice guy, and I know you guys have interacted with him, but he's stood up and been a guinea pig for so many mods.
I mean, feel free to go guinea pig on him if he's here right now.
Yeah, guinea pig. I mean, I don't think he's talking in chat, but Doofy has been absolutely amazing, and he's a good part of the coalition. He's a good part of so many streams, but he really lets you, he works with you, because it's like, I understand, and he's a great guy. And that's the other thing too, is it's not just mods that build up really good communities, it's your long-time viewers that they may not want to be mod, they don't have time to be, but they're still the heart of what you're looking for.
Definitely.
And going back to like how there are different streams and every stream has its chat, and every chat has a personality. And when the chat doesn't match your personality, it's probably not going to be the right one for you to moderate. You have to really want to be there with the community. So when you're looking at different chat rooms, you'll see some of the very big streamers are just sub mode all the time. Well, there's no moderation going on in those because everyone's a sub and they just are there for attention, which is fine. Then you get the other.
It has been said that when your cast gets to a significant size, like 6, 7, 8,000 people watching, that you just sub mode it and leave it.
Yeah.
And your chat is bad before you go to sub mode, but it's okay after it. But then you also get other communities like Co-Carnages where we can quite happily sit on 8,000 people and the idiots get kicked out of chat before we have a chance to even hit them with our hammer.
Yep.
Because the community looks after itself and you get different communities which are all different, as Red Eye was saying.
And hands down for those long-time viewers, I mean, I know that not all of them are here, but I have to applaud them. There are a lot of long-time viewers that you may have missed that one little line that was critical for you to time out or purge because it could have been a spoiler. Like, for instance, your channel, Jesse, everybody spoils shit for you because they love you. But...
Wait. Your definition of love needs work.
They love you so much, they want to make sure you don't cry. Anyway, as far as your stories go, the people that pop in and they're like, dude, so let's say, for instance, your mod doesn't know. You're playing a game or something, and your mod doesn't know what that particular spoiler is, but your chat member is like, hey, that's a spoiler. They're not trolling, they're saying legitimately, and it's someone you trust because they've been there so long. That's a spoiler. You're gonna jump on that, and hats off to them for really pointing that out, because, you know, modding all the time, sometimes you can't see some of the stuff that, you know, is technically a spoiler. Like, Moblord knows, Barry knows, Red Eye knows. There's some games you haven't been able to see the ending of, and it's like, it's new to you too, because you're having to follow along with the streamer. And here we go with, you know, somebody in chat being like, I didn't beat the game, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, well, good for you. And then they're like, this happened. Well, screw you, buddy, you're getting timed out. So, yeah, we have some really good community members.
A good question for you guys as mods is how many games get spoiled for you, or that you can't even hardly watch. You're just watching chat. You're not focused on the game because you have to.
Because I watch every game on every release that's worth watching.
Yeah,
at midnight or whatever gets released, so that way the next day I'm good to go. I don't even play 90% of the games I want to anymore. I can just watch them on Twitch, and then I know about what the spoilers are, so when Co gets up in the morning at 8 a.m., all those people who started at midnight and have that 8-hour head start, I know everything. So I can, you know, impart that knowledge onto the other mods and say, hey, you know, if they bring up this, that's a spoiler. You know,
well, that's
if you don't know that, and again, that's all part of the communication between good mods. Like, if your mods communicate and work together, you're going to have a better time.
That's crazy. Also, can you say I know everything one more time, just like you did?
I can't remember how did I say it?
I know everything.
You do it first, and I'll say it again.
I know everything.
I know everything.
Don't ask Barry to do voices. He sounds like a combination between, like, Claw from Inspector Gadget and Bane.
Do not ask for whom the bell tolls.
You were only introduced to the bot. I was born in it.
God damn.
Nerd.
And now you know he's a bot.
Yeah. One of the other things that comes sort of hand in hand with spoilers is real-time news events. Somebody's died. And
yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Every single Twitch chat. Did you know so-and-so has died? And then about 3 minutes later, did you know so-and-so has died?
For 8 hours.
So-and-so has died. Did you know so-and-so has died? It's like,
I've seen Co put it in his title before. Yes, I know about blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But nobody reads the title.
I know he'll respectfully put it, like, when Spock passed, you know, he's like, rest in peace, Spock. He put that up there. So, I mean, things happen.
Live long and prosper.
Wow. I didn't realize that would be that much of a problem, but I don't know. I never really thought about it.
Well, think about it. Like, when you have a chat and there's 10,000 people, and they're going through their Twitter feed, or they're going through their Facebook or whatever social media they're on.
Spock.
Yeah. They're like, dude, so-and-so died. Well, yeah. We heard that for the 80th time already. Thank you.
You realize I've been casting for 8 hours and I've heard it for all 8 of them.
It desensitizes you immediately.
It's got to the point where I keep track of real-time news events, which I do on Twitter anyway, because I keep track of a lot of things on Twitter. Whereas it will get to around about the time where Wild goes live, and I will dump into Mod Chat a list of stuff that's happened today, whether it be Twitch-related, news-related, current events, new Twitch spam, or anything. It just gets dumped into Mod Chat and goes, here's a list of stuff that's happened whilst you were asleep, and you're about to go live, here's a heads up. And that's something else that you do as a moderator that's in a different time zone to a caster that you look after. But that also goes into the theoretical mod network, where all the mods tell all the other mods about stuff as well, because one thing that happens a lot with a lot of casters is you get mods from different time zones, so we all keep track of different stuff from different regions and different time zones, and it all comes together into a big pot of stuff where you just need to be aware of stuff that chat could talk about that will get repeated. It's like Arkham Knight today, which we were playing on cast. About every 3 minutes somebody went, have you got into the ini file and set it to 60 frames per second?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Every 3 minutes.
God.
There are some questions I have no idea how casters can deal with. Like, we have this joke that we talk about all the time where it's like, somebody will... Jesse, you're a streamer. You've probably had this before. Or somebody would just come and be like, hey, I just want to let you know that today I had, like, some pudding and I took my socks off because it's hot. Nobody cares! I'm sorry to bed, but nobody cares!
The joke part is that they leave it there. They're like, I took my socks off, and then they don't talk to you after that.
Then they never say anything again.
Yeah.
Stop doing that, people. It's weird.
I've actually had worse where somebody came in with like their relationship problems, and I'm like, nobody gives a damn like about your girlfriend problems or your I don't know like
I'm
all
happy
this.
for you, son, but I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
I
We're
should have said
after
that.
this, you're fired.
I should have said that.
You can't fire me, I quit.
No.
Again.
But like,
relationships are just one of those topics that you can't really get into, right? Religion, politics, relationships, you can't really get into them into a big Twitch chat. It always turns into a disaster.
Yeah.
You know how you can always divert the chat though? Anytime
PC
chat's
versus
being
console.
like weird, just say boobs.
Boobs, what?
Boobs.
Where?
Doesn't matter if you're male or female, if you say boobs, everybody's like, what?
Stop trying to make fetch happen, Kinnan.
Barry, that's you! Barry, you have been posting fetch in every damn chat I've been in. Not him, it's you!
But
Bunny.
Well, so there is actually a bit of a theory that you could talk about for diversions, because that's something that I've consciously done as well, is try to divert chat off of certain things into certain other things, just by leading the conversation as a moderator.
Oops. Works every time.
I think that's too simple. I think that they're...
No, and that's exactly why it works, my friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, a rare cooked prime rib, sir. Let that sink in.
Steak gets Jesse every damn time.
I love steak,
There's
okay?
one alternative
No!
to
It's
and
because
that's just a cooked commercial break.
I love steak,
have
okay?
to-
Don't
I have to tell them the story.
don't
though.
derail my topic.
You're the one who was like, alright, and you were talking about grills, and you called me a grill, and I just got tired of it, because that day I heard it like 80 times.
I'm not apologizing.
On the
I
internet.
said to you, steak. And then you're like, yeah, I like medium. And then we got on the subject of ketchup. Steak is another diversion tactic, because
Whoa,
all
stop.
you have to do...
Stop. Does he put ketchup on his steak?
No.
No, he doesn't. He's not
thank
saying
No,
God.
I was
I was
serving.
about to leave!
I was serving
Right.
tables, and this guy wanted ketchup on his steak, and I wanted to quit my job.
I would have taken it back, be like, I'll just get you a burger. Noob.
Right? You're doing it
No.
wrong.
You're doing the steak wrong!
No, I told him,
Doing
I
it
said
wrong.
steak is perfect on a grill, and that's how it went from there. Grills are
Wait,
great
what?
with steak.
But
So,
steak
yeah.
on a grill, and the grill's got boobs? Why don't you put the steak on the boobs?
the boobs? No, Barry, you're
Oh my
thinking it
god,
wrong.
steak and boobs.
That's rad.
Titties,
There are
beer.
no girls on the internet.
Oh my god,
only
this is
hot
next
grills.
level shit right here.
Titties, beer, and steak. All right.
Look at Moblord, he's typing, he's
Yeah.
searching for it right now on
This
Google.
isn't water. This
I know
is
his
just
tricks.
pure vodka.
Steakboobs.com. Quick, somebody lock that down.
What were we talking about before we got into boobs?
Moblord, are you serious?
I don't
Taking
even
boobs
know.
with the title of Hooters.
It was a joke.
I mean, I could see it.
That needs to be emote now, Jesse. We need a boob steak.
Yes.
Boob steak. Maybe one day. You know what? Talk to Co.
Is he? He's not here, is he? Shit.
He's watching.
Oh no.
Oh,
But anyways,
I do want to say though about the topic of like really good moderators is that I really touched on it. When you have somebody that has gone into their channel and they know that it matches their personality, or they have one of those personalities that really branches out, or they can flower in any kind of environment, that's a really good mod for you. But if you have one person that's really good in a certain chat, let them excel in that chat. They're really doing a service to you by being there and by going along with how you like things. And I mean, Lucky Misfit, she's in here. She's one amazing moderator. She's a mod for Elo. She's a mod for Death Sculpt and many other channels, as well as Been the Wonder Boy. Monkey Overlord, he's in here. He's another really good mod. He mods for Elo as well. So these are people that really know their casters and really know their audience, and they get in there and they're friends with them. And it goes back to that bar theme where you're having your hardcore liquor with your pals, you're slamming those shots, but it's a community. And that's what I wanted to get back to, is that your mods are helping build that community for you.
now that we're back on topic and not derailed at all, so you're talking to like the helping the building community. What does that entail? Like, because I know you guys probably know a lot more about networking than than I do. Honestly, let's be honest. I'm still a small
God, don't
caster
bring up
myself.
networking. Barry's gonna talk for 45 minutes about like cat cables and shit. Don't say networking. I know his tricks.
No, Barry, we're not talking about cables. We're talking about actual people networking.
Okay, so we're just gonna mute Barry for the rest of this conversation. God damn it!
Barry, put that fucking cable down.
No, but like,
I knew it.
I just happen to have a network cable here. Look at this network cable. It's so networky and cabley.
it's so.
I'm sorry. Continue.
Look, you've got an end that you can plug in.
No, don't tell
and
him
you
to
get
continue.
internet out of it. As long as you plug the other. Is the other
Barry?
end actually plugged
Barry?
in?
Barry,
Where's the other end?
Barry,
Oh, the
Stop.
other end's not plugged into it.
Barry, please.
stop.
Barry,
Put-
please.
Fair play. Fair
Put the
play.
cable
That
down.
wasn't planned. I just happened to have a network cable.
I knew, of course you would. I know your tricks.
God damn it.
Come back, Barry.
Anyways, but
Alright.
Moblord, you were talking about like I remember you were telling me
I'll go back to reading the
earlier
book.
about.
God damn it, Barry, put it down.
Oh, alright, right, hang on.
What the fuck?
We're going through
Barry,
books
I need to
that-
see both hands. Put both hands above the keyboard. No, Barry, both hands above the keyboard.
What,
Put the
what
fucking
about
book
this
down.
one? This one's
No.
got comics in
No,
it.
put your hands up and put the stuff down.
Look,
Just
there's
drop the book.
spiders in here.
Barry, we're
Where's
gonna
the
kick you.
spiders page?
Barry, I'm
Look at
gonna have Jesse kick you.
Don't kick me. I'm looking for the good page. But hang on, where is it?
Barry,
Anyways,
This one's very important.
Nerd.
Moblord, you were talking about like networking, like with sponsorships and all that type of deal, as well as just in general. What networking do you guys do with other channels? Like I know Evilbunny, you yourself have you said you like my channel, and then you try to introduce me to other channels that you like as well, and little things like that. Like what do you guys do as like far as networking or helping the community grow or anything like that?
my networking is a little bit different than Moblord's. Moblord's is definitely on a more professional level than mine, and I will give him hats off for that. And my networking is just simply, I'm naturally a networker. I am naturally social, and so I like bringing people together. I like people to have those conversations, to really get down to the nitty-gritty of, what they're about and see if they mesh. And sometimes you have people that you're like are total polar opposites, but they still interact really well and feed off of each other really well. Like Barry and you, for instance. So you have some really great people that interact, and it's amazing. And again, you remember I introduced you to Spirax, and you were in his stream team at one point. There's a lot of people I introduced to each other, and it's just casually because I want you guys to be able to build the community on your own, and it to be something you feel proud of. It's not something that I'm trying to take credit for, because it's you that's really doing the work. I'm just kind of guiding you to meet other people that are going to help you grow.
She grows more powerful off your fame. Eventually, she's going to take over Twitch all by herself.
Most likely.
I am not.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The thing is, I have a lot of respect for all the streamers. I love gaming. I love the gaming community. I love the throwback games that Jesse does. I love the newer games that Co does. And I love the interaction of all the communities that I'm involved with. And watching that is just amazing to me. So I know Moblord's take on it is a lot different, and I'm going to shut up and let him talk at this point.
Alright.
She's like, I was supposed to talk 45 minutes ago. Some asshole kept putting books up on the screen.
Citation needed!
I own that book. It's a great book. Networking is something I have to work at a little bit harder, but I think networking, some of what I do is just comes natural because I'm in a lot of streams. I'm
this is
modded.
my day job.
Code's compiling, yes.
Gary, this is not show and tell. Stop it.
Aww.
Time out,
I'm in
Barry.
a lot of channels anyways, and oftentimes I'll find people who are in kind of a niche, like they'll have a certain niche for a certain type of game, or have a certain type of thing that they really like, and I'm like, oh hey, I know somebody else that is also interested in that kind of thing. I should introduce these people because, together they might equal something even greater. And their audience would merge perfectly with this other person's audience. So something that I really like to do is introduce streamers to other streamers, and it allows communities to form. And I think one of my biggest philosophies about Twitch in general is nobody ever makes it to the top on their own. You can't solo Twitch. Almost everybody who is growing quickly right now, they have somebody that they can point back to, various people that assisted them on their journey. And you need to be able to fill in some various spots in both your social life and your professional life on Twitch in order to keep going, in order to even keep the energy of doing your streaming every day. And so naturally, I have some of that type of stuff just from being in different places, but also now professionally, I'm trying to make some, associations now come true between like streaming teams and streamers. Because I work as a talent scout for OPG, and I've worked as a talent scout for other teams on Twitch, where I basically go around and I look for people who match certain characteristics and metrics. So I'll study people's numbers, and I'll study their time patterns as far as when they stream and what they stream, and what their connections are and who their sponsors are, and all that kind of stuff. So I'll go around Twitch, just usually somewhat hidden, or under a different username or whatever else, and try to, find out how far this goes. I've been all over Twitch, just scouting, viewing things, seeing what's out there, trying to make myself more and more aware, just because it's useful for me for talent scouting for these teams, and also finding out who our next clients might be for Online Performers Group. So when I'm doing that, sometimes I'll run across really cool and interesting things too, and I'll be able to make connections with some of the people who I've taken under my wings. Like, hey, this person was playing a game that I haven't seen anybody play since you played it last. Hey, you should talk to this person. Or, hey, I found a really cool new service that I think would work better for collecting data and stats and stuff. Why don't you use this service? Just because I think it's cool. But now with OPG too, there's going to be some of these paid kind of sponsorships where a partnered company is wanting to have streamers who match certain metrics and certain niches as well, and so I'm trying to match those up, and it's a lot the same thing as what I was doing before. So yeah, networking is very important, more important probably for streamers than moderators, but I think it still can be important for moderators to learn, to learn how this game works. We're in a game of Twitch, and there aren't any real hard and fast rules. Sometimes you're making your own rules, but learning how everything works is important to kind of keep growing through the ranks, both as a streamer and as a moderator. And I think moderating can grow to other things too. It can grow into different paid positions. It could grow into careers for people, and I certainly think that that's possible. So learning to network will be important to you more down the road than it is now, but you might as well get started now. You might as well practice now.
Now, what are some of the things you look for as far as like scouting for Twitch teams? And like, I know, like aside from like community, like you're looking for metrics, time slots. Like I'm assuming for Twitch teams in particular, you're looking for somebody to cover a time slot that's not taken up yet, or something like that as well.
It depends. There's different needs, but I have what I look for personally, and oftentimes I'm looking for the personality to be a certain way. I'm looking for the user engagement to be a certain way. I'm looking for a high production value. I'm looking for good overlay art. I'm not looking for boobs.
Thank God, I have a chance.
Thank you. I'm more looking for steak.
Yes.
But yeah. So when I'm scouting, I'm looking for the engagement. I'm looking for that mod wall thing that I talked about. I'm looking for how they've got their bot set up. I'm looking for various annoying things that certain people do and haven't learned that they shouldn't yet, like automatically calling out lurkers when lurkers show up in channels. And
that is a pet peeve of mine. I just have to put it out there.
I feel like we cover that like every single week. Don't fucking do
Every
that.
time I talk to Jesse, and it's Jesse and I have a mutual contact, and this particular person, I've never been to their stream before. I just wanted to check them out casually. So I popped in there. I didn't even throw a follow, but they have that, they were looking to see who entered their chat. I'm sitting there, it's not even 2 minutes. They're like, hey, Evilbunny. I'm like, fuck you, I'm gone. So
I'm out.
I left. I don't want to be called out if I'm going to watch you. I want to be able to see what you can do.
Yeah.
I want to be able to see your stream and see that content before I decide whether or not I want to follow.
I want to enjoy your content in my own way. Yeah.
Right. If you're going to put that pressure on me to be there and be active, it's like, no.
Right.
Well, it's one of the main reasons a lot of the Twitch admins or Twitch staff that have the alternative mod badges or higher, they'll wander around Twitch incognito a lot of the time, because the moment they pop into a channel, they'll get the
Twitch police are here.
Mean? How did you get that? I want it. What do you do? I demand partnership, and so on and so forth. So they're in the same boat, but they get it a lot more because when you look in the viewer list, they're right at the top.
Yeah, honestly, I don't do any of that, but I will say I don't blame them for having alternate accounts, because I would be bugged to all hell as soon as like an admin or a staff member pops in. What's it like being an admin or a staff member? What do you do? Hey, can you get somebody so and so partnered or blah blah blah? Like ask all the ridiculous questions. I'm like, dude, he's just here chilling, relax. He's a normal person.
These admins and staff, hats off to them. Even global mods, they do so much. And the global mod badge, by the way, Reaper, is an axe. But as far as what they do, a lot of them are just as simple as the mods that we are, except they do it on a grander scale of being Twitch the entirety versus a stream. So I know that you hear a lot of things that Moblord does, a lot of things that Barry does, Red Eye does, I do, a lot of the technical aspects of things. That's really what they do, but it's us, just on the next level. So calling them out and asking them, what they do all the time, I'm sure it gets annoying. Just like I can pop into streams and sometimes I don't even know half the people, but they're like, hey, I see you here. And I'm like, yeah, hi.
Yeah, I hate it being so super famous. When I go into the chats, they're like, holy shit, it's Red Eyed Monster. They're so famous, I gotta talk to them. Yeah, that must suck.
I'm not saying that it's famous. I'm saying when you hop in a channel and
Rem,
you're
this is
using
the
your
world's
normal name
smallest
and
violin just for you.
you're just trying to just chill. You're just trying to look at a stream and just relax and watch a game that you're really interested in, and they call you out. So sometimes you're just, when you're like Moblord will sit into a stream, or I will sit in a stream and just watch. We won't say anything because this first time we'll say something is they're like, hey, I know you, and then you get this wall of hellos. And people are like, well, they're saying hello to this person, let me jump on the bandwagon. So it's somebody you've never seen before still greeting you.
It's not too bad most of the time, but there are times where you just want to turn off your name or go into incognito mode because it gets annoying. And I'm not trying to say that to harp on myself. I'm not famous. There's just a very small circle of people who would know who I am. Probably not even as large as Evilbunny's circle, so...
Now,
I'm not that...
I love the direction this has gone.
Okay, how many follows do you have?
All of them.
Like 3 or 4 times as many as I have.
She has, almost half as many as I have. And she hasn't even turned on the stream button, like the start stream.
I'm expert. I go to all different sides of Twitch. I don't just hang out, on one side. I look what's out there because, I want to see the other streams. I want to see what they're coming up with. I want to be like, okay, well, they've got this. Let's do this, but better. I want to get other ideas. So, yeah.
So, now that we actually talked about lurkers and things that kind of annoy you, couple of things here. Horror story from chat rooms that you guys modded, like maybe chat rooms you don't like the mod, maybe they've given you a mod sword, and you're just like, oh great, I really don't want to mod in this channel, I just have it for
You opened that door.
Yeah, I really did. Fuck you.
Here's a small violin for you as well.
Anyways, but on top of that, what are some things, as far as, you don't like as far as when casters do, and...
Calling out the mods by name when they think they screwed up without doing research and checking that their mod had actually done the proper thing.
We all know it was Rem's fault.
Bullshit! I'm perfect.
Bullshit.
But no,
It
if
was
you're a
Rem's
caster
fault.
and you have mods and maybe there's a timeout you don't trust, don't be like, hey, Dark Cobra SK, how dare you, why did that person get timed? Don't do that. That's why you have a mod chat. Ask them, hey, why did that guy get timed out? Then the mod can go, copy and paste, this is why. And the person casting can be like, oh, okay, sweet, and continue on. Instead of calling the mod out on the stream. Don't do that. Alright, I'm done.
It was still Rem's fault.
Bullshit!
I saw him.
I mean, is there a way to do, is there, that a big one, or is it hey, don't do that period, or do that politely, or is it maybe not?
No, just don't call out a name. Be like, hey, mods, what happened? And then they'll put in your mod chat, whatever it is, Slack, IRC, Skype, whatever the hell you have. Mm-hmm. They'll put in there, hey, this really got, this is something that was banned or timed out because they said this. You missed this, because again, as you've said, if you're in a larger stream, or even in your stream, sometimes chat can be rolling and you're not gonna see what that person said, but it warranted it.
Yeah, I mean, generally, speaking is that if I know who did it, or if I see a problem, I'll address it later, but little things like, oh hey, I'll allow links now or something like that. I don't mind. I'm like, oh hey, that's actually not a problem anymore. You don't have to worry about that anymore, or something like that. Is that fine, or is that crossing the line? It's it not so much a offensive thing, or
ultimately the way that it's viewed is that it's a professionalism standpoint. You wouldn't stand in front of your customers. Say, for example, you're in a shop. You wouldn't stand in front of the customers and tell the person off behind the till if you're their manager in front of the customers. It's exactly the same principle as that. You take the staff member out the back and you give them a right good rollicking for whatever they've done, But it's the same principle with mods. You don't do it live on cast. You do it privately as much as possible, because the viewers don't need to know that there's been a problem that somebody's had to be told off for whatever reason that it's going on. It's, from a professional standpoint, it needs to be kept away from the public.
Because as soon as a mod who's a like an authority figure in the chat is taken down a couple pegs, that rampant chat that's been waiting that whole day just to jump on some shit like that come out of the woodwork, and they're like, oh, look at there's Nazi mods, oh, and they lose their minds. If you just keep that shit separate out of the main chat, that doesn't happen, and that's glorious.
Gotcha. So, let's see. What are some other pet peeves that maybe people overlook as well? I feel like there's so many more things that I'm almost wondering if I do. Like, I can't say necessarily like I.
Well, I mean, there's things that you watch out for. You look for nervous tics of the streamer. You look for the way that the streamers treat their mods. You look for the way that streamers treat their audience. I've had some horror stories. There was a channel that I no longer mod for where I was called out in front of everybody for how many hours I had spent watching this person compared to somebody else who had boobs. And they actually looked it up and displayed it in front of everybody in front of that channel just to make some kind of a point. And there's some of these little immaturity things that people have that come out in some dramatic fashion sometimes. I'm sure we all have war stories as far as that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's a lot that you can learn about people through Twitch. Twitch really is just, an expression of people's selves. Sometimes they are upfront and honest who they are, and sometimes they play a character for the entire stream, like a Caseytron or something. But yeah, I don't know. Anybody else want to share any war stories?
It took every single bit of my willpower not to whisper boobs when you talked about Caseytron there. I'm just gonna say.
You
I'm
just
quite
want
proud
to
of
whisper
myself.
boobs all the time.
Congratulations.
That's all you want to do.
I'm really proud.
I'm proud of you too.
You did good.
I'm not proud of him because he was still thinking it. So I do have to agree with Moblord though. Those instances, but the other thing that I want to add to it as far as like on the pet peeve list is the whole Nazi mod thing. When you have people that have really invested their heart into your community, and there are people that are emotionally involved in your community. Like, for instance, you're my friend, Jesse. I've known you for a long time. I give you shit, but I mean,
I noticed.
when it comes to the end of the day, we're friends. But even Ko, I see Ko as a friend of mine. He's amazing. He's such a really down-to-earth person. Yeah, he's busy as hell, but he's a really great person. But the thing is, being called a Nazi mod in those chats, in those channels, it's kind of hurtful when you're like, dude, I'm not being that harsh. I'm just sticking to the rules that are here. You haven't been here long enough to know them. Back off. Somebody actually sent me a picture of Hitler with bunny ears and thought it was funny.
Wasn't that Barry?
Motherfucker. Was that Barry?
It wasn't me.
Wow, that's fucked. Way to go, Barry.
How many legal threats have you guys received as moderators? I'm just curious because I've got a few
Legal
that I've
threats?
saved.
At least a couple.
I've gotten a couple of those, and I think the funniest one I've got is a death threat. It's like, okay.
How serious was it? Did you feel it was serious, or was it just one of those hope you die things?
One of those I'm gonna kill you in your sleep kind of things, and I'm like, well, I don't care
Jesus.
because you're probably 15.
Just for modding the channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What?
You're not even the person that banned them, and you're still getting the message because they're like, oh, you're the one who was talking in chat, so I'm sure it was you. No, it was a bot that got you, but okay.
Have any of you been DDoS before for being
Hell no.
a mod?
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's
I don't wanna
surprisingly
talk
easy
about
to get
that.
my IP address.
Have any of you been Twitter flamed for hours afterwards?
Not
Maybe
yet.
I'm just
No.
doing it wrong. I don't
I'm not
know.
gonna lie, I'm pretty awesome. Just saying.
We've heard you say that a couple of times.
Yeah, I've had all of those things.
Wow.
It's been fun sometimes. The legal
I bet it
threats
was Barry DDoSing you. I mean, sorry.
You know, him and his network cables.
The legal
got
threats
that
are
down.
the funniest because I think people assume that they have some sort of rights or privileges, or you can't ban me for XYZ reasons, and it's just this is harassment, this is removal of my rights or whatever else. I think what streamers and mods need to know is you can actually ban people for any reason you want to ban people. They have no real limitations on that sort of thing. You don't have to feel bad or apologize if the streamer wants you gone. As long as you're, abiding by the streamer's rules, you don't have to feel bad about banning people. Now, there should be, posted rules, in my opinion. There should always be posted rules as far as, if you do this kind of thing, you might be subject to timeouts or bans, and you should probably start with a timeout when you can to kind of coach the chat in the right direction instead of just skipping straight to banning. And maybe we could talk about that aspect as well, but don't feel bad about banning people if you need to ban them. It's one of those things that some mods are maybe a little bit power hungry. I have met a few, not nearly as many as who are accused of being Nazi mods, right? Because for every 100 people who are accused of being a Nazi mod, I've only probably met just a handful, not very many at all. But maybe you guys know more examples, but I really don't. Usually they're just passionate members of the community, not anybody who's there for a power trip. Otherwise the streamer would have removed them a long time ago. But
That's crazy. I can't believe you guys have had to deal with all that.
There's a lot of stuff a lot of flack that mods take that we just really don't share. I mean, there's a lot of hell we get every day, and it's just like, gonna end my day and forget about it. And then, of course, there's some times where it'll rub you the wrong way, and it'll stick with you, but for the most part, you've got the other 90% of chat that's just amazing and makes you feel better and just brings your spirits back up from having been knocked down by that 1% of people, that's been a dick.
And then there's the type of person who was walking the line and they know that they're walking the line, and you're just hovering over them, just hoping that they'll screw up so you finally can get them out of your chat room. You guys know who I'm talking about. There's people who you're rooting for screwing up. Like, I hope you say something...
And you want to bait them out? Because,
baited them.
It's so easy to bait them out, but, the streamer would be like, that's not cool. And then I'd be like, yeah, that's not cool. But then you do it anyways.
Alright, guys.
Because those people need to go.
One of the things that a lot of people don't realise is that...
Barry, he was going to let us take a break. I have to pee!
It's relevant to what something Moblord said. That there isn't any specific chat rules in the Twitch Terms of Service, but the Twitch Terms of Service are there to protect the moderators and the chat. And basically, the Twitch Terms of Service, paraphrase, says that you can set any rules that you want on your channel, which lets you kick out any given person. And the moment that they make another account and come back, you can just report them, and they're in violation of Twitch Terms of Service. So Twitch says you can do whatever the hell you want on your channel because it's your channel. And if somebody breaks the rules, get kicked out, and they come back on another account, then they're fluffed.
Yes, and thank you for explaining that. People can actually, I don't know if they're aware, but you can get IP bans for evading previous bans on a channel. And I think that's something that mods need to know, and that's something that mods need to start reporting more.
It's not just mods need to know, it's streamers need to know it too, that reporting really works. And if you have enough instances where somebody is in your chat and they've just been that toxic, or they've came in with 8 different names and they said, I'll use you as an example, Jesse, they're like, Jesse needs to die, or Jesse's full of shit, and they give you all these troll names, and they keep coming back after being banned and leaving this whole line of text that's really toxic. You can report them, and if you have all of your mods, you have people from chat reporting them, that flags it on up there for the admins, and they're like, oh, okay, there's 15 people that reported this one person. We need to take a look and see what the hell they're doing. And then they're gone.
Yeah, definitely. I was actually fixing to ask, I had no idea, reporting actually works, but then again, I really haven't had to deal with that much of a problem on a grand scale. Regardless, guys, I just realized we have been going on for about 2 hours. Yeah, so I think we're gonna take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen of the chat. If you could do me a favor, we do have a Q&A portion coming up. If you got any questions, feel free to shout them out. We got about 6 questions or so that we're gonna talk about in the next hour. But as far as you guys on the call, if you guys have any recommendations as far as streamers you want to shout out, now would be the time. And if anybody would like to go first before we go on break, and we'll take about like a 5-10 minute break after we do our little shout out. So anybody want to go first with a shout out?
I don't have one specific streamer. I have the whole coalition.
I have the whole coalition.
Sell out.
I have to say they're all really amazing streamers, and if you're looking for one particular streamer to meet your needs, there is one in this list.
Can you toss?
You go here.
Can you toss in their link a couple of times? All right.
You go there and you find a streamer, and one of them I can guarantee is going to meet the needs of what you're looking for gaming-wise. You want WoW, they've got somebody that plays it. You want somebody that's playing some of the most current games, they've got somebody in there. You want Batman. Batman. If you want to see somebody that's like got a whole lot of comedic sense to them, Bike Man is amazing.
What's Bike playing?
I think he's playing Batman right now. And then you have there's some unpartnered streamers in there right now that are working their way up. There's Fuzzy Freaks in there. She's an amazing streamer, got a really good sense of humor. She plays all sorts of games. This is your variety streaming team that you should really check out.
Word. All right. And let's see. Red Eye Monster has to pee, so we'll get you out of the way here next.
All right, cool.
So,
all right, yeah, I'll give a shout out to streamer, but it's not going to be anyone specific either. But I'm not going to sell out to the coalition because it's already been done. For everyone watching, sometime tonight after the show, when you go and watch some other streamer, probably playing Batman, instead of going to that number one streamer, click on the game, scroll down, and give somebody with 3 to 5 viewers a shot. Just see what they're doing. Say hello in their chat. Because you never know. That person, if you meet them, they might be cool, and they could be the next big thing.
Word. So, just go check out any streamer that's under 10 viewers or so?
Yep.
Alright, cool.
And follow my Twitter, Red Eye Tank.
Make some blood! Make some blood!
Fucking sell out.
Don't follow him.
Alright, and let's see. Moblord, if you got any streamers you would like to shout out and drop links down for, now would be the time, and give us a sales pitch on them.
I'll just mention 2 that are in chat that I mod for right now. Ara Gaming is here in chat, and she was the first person to moderate me, and she introduced me to a lot of really cool people, so I'll always be thankful for her channel. She has been playing some Witcher and some Ark, so give her a follow. Also, Jessie Quill was in chat. She's been a guest on this podcast, I believe.
Yes. And
I'm on for her, so if you're not following Jessie Quill, make sure you follow. She's a moderator in her own right too. She mods more channels than I do.
So
I think so. She'd be great for this conversation. But
I'm sorry. Who's the first caster? And can you drop in some links in there?
Yeah.
He's saying Ara Gaming and Jessie Quill.
Yep.
I don't think those are real people. I think he made them up.
Ara's in here, and she's really awesome. I love
really?
watching her stream as well.
All right.
I'm sorry,
I'll
I love
definitely check her out.
And then if you want to check out some of what I do outside of Twitch or sort of related to Twitch, check out OPG. So
Mother, you can't leave
link to
porn.
that as well. I didn't.
Oh, look
I'll
at the
save that
OP
for
Group
Barry.
TV sellout. Nice work.
God.
I'll leave that for Barry and his past contacts. Okay.
Anyways, so Barry, if you got anybody you want to shout out, and drop some links down for, or give us, tell us a little bit about them.
I'd like to shout out motherboards and data frumpage and spreadsheets. Oh, sorry, nerd. Go ahead. Sorry, party.
I'm going to shout out a handful of people. I'm going to first shout out to Deathwishcraft, who is, at the moment, he's doing a lot of variety casting, but he started in Minecraft, and that's the first channel that I modded for, so I'm usually there during the daytime.
I'll shout out Wild, who does who mainly does modded Minecraft, but is doing a bit of Fallout at the moment. Although he's doing casting Minecraft today. Usually hardcore mod packs is what he does, formerly of the FTV team. OG Aristotle, he's big on Minecraft, but he's also big into charity. He actually splits about 20% of all his donations get sent to child charities. Finally, two more. Draskia does art and creative. She's very good to watch and does a lot of chilled streams, which is very interesting. And finally, my Sunday stream is an Elite Dangerous stream. It's by a caster called Kate Click. She's also of the BBC, which is quite interesting. She does a show on the BBC called Click, hence the name Kate Click. And she does Elite Dangerous on Sundays and occasionally Grand Theft Auto on Fridays at the moment, which is quite interesting. And I've linked them all in chat.
All right, cool.
If I can spell Twitch TV correctly on OG Aristotle's link, it would help.
Did you not spell Twitch TV right?
I imagine spelled
He
Twitch
spelled
right.
Twitch.
Yeah.
Twatch.
I fixed it. Nobody saw my mistake.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
This is why we can't mess
handful of
things.
my casts I look after, but feel free to check any of them out.
And I did see, what Crab said, and I do have to say one of our really good friends, a really great friend of Barry, myself, Red Eyed Monster, is Brad Widow.
Brad!
He popped in the stream earlier, and he is hysterical, and he's our most accepted British person besides Barry. So,
Aw.
Yeah, it's actually
we love
4 a.m.
Brad.
right now.
yeah.
Brad Widow. Yeah, I actually saw him chilling out in chat. So I will definitely check all these people out, make some new friends, and maybe enjoy some new casters. I'm actually already following some of these people. I didn't even realize. But anyways, as far as my shout out, let's see. My shout out is actually going to be Miss Cessification. For those of you who don't know, she actually, one of her viewers actually, this is probably one of the coolest things I've been a part of in Twitch, is that one of her viewers actually had a horrible living situation. Him and his mother both became homeless and had to live in a homeless shelter. She did a 48-hour cast with several different streamers, including myself, PJMNI Live, and several other great casters, and was able to raise over, I want to say about $5,000. I don't know what the end.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
And be able to put
That's
them
really
back on their
amazing.
be able to put them back on their feet. The fact that she was able to do that for one of her viewers, it was amazing, and it was one of the craziest and best experiences I've ever been a part of. So please do show her some love. Cessification, Major Feels has seriously gone out of her way, above and beyond, for one of her viewers, and I think she deserves a shout out today.
Yeah.
So, aside from that, guys,
Definitely threw her a follow.
aside from that, guys, we're gonna take about a 5-minute break. We're gonna do some Q&A. Once again, here's gonna be the link to the Q&A here in chat. If you guys could be so kind and enthrall us in questions we haven't gone over, or questions you want more details on, feel free to throw it in the Q&A. We will try to answer it the best we can, and we'll try to skip on the amount of boobs we mention. No guarantees, but yeah, you give us about 5 minutes and we'll be back, guys. And go check out some new channels, go make some new friends, go drop some new follows. Aside from that, guys, your microphone will not be muted, but if you want to talk to chat, you can. You have that option. Personally, I like ignoring them. No, I'm kidding. I love chat. The only thing I don't like about doing the podcast is the amounts of, I don't like ignoring chat, but I feel like I need to give you guys my full attention, and I don't want to be, distracted. So, I do appreciate you guys in chat hanging out and
Can you see
bearing
the
with
questions
me.
already?
Yes, I can see the questions already. I linked
I submitted
to
one.
a Google Docs, so you can see the questions. Red Eye
Okay, thank
Monster
you. I got
asks, how is Red Eye Monster so rad?
Magic. That's the answer.
Can you delete that one?
Yeah, trust me.
I need that deleted like now.
I need that
Jealous
deleted
that I thought of
like
it
now.
Okay, P break. And break.
So I actually left a lot from last time. So you'll see the ones that say 623 on there. They'll be the ones from today. I should have deleted the last ones.
I have to say this has been a lot of fun, and I hope I really hope people are, learning some things from the mod side of Twitch. It's a lot different than the streaming side, I have to say that.
Oh, definitely. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been enlightened on a lot of things, and hopefully I can learn and grow from this, and maybe not. Probably not. I'm probably hopeless, honestly. Let's be real here. I hope everybody else can learn and grow from this.
Something that we haven't gotten into at all is, how Twitch can be a different experience for a female streamer than a guy streamer, and how the moderating experience changes dramatically as well. My personal experience. I don't know if we want to get into that topic or not. There's some topics that are sticky to get into, but that's one of them.
Well, truth be told, I've actually done a full female podcast because of the sexual harassment that female streamers have to face and deal with.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those topics that has interested me before. Other ideas I'd like to do as far as podcast would be to do an artist cast, maybe speedrunners cast, to see different kinds of communities on Twitch. I normally...
Jesse, would you be interested in doing another modcast with with some different mods so you can get another feel of basically some other sides of Twitch?
You know what? I'll let chat decide that, but yeah, I totally would be down for that. And how would chat feel about that? But yeah, no, I would not be opposed to that, because honestly, I think this has been one of the more informative podcasts, and this is what I want from my podcast. As I was telling you guys earlier, is like, not only do I want, the podcast to be fun and enjoyable, I want it to be memorable and be able to learn more from it, and be able to take something with you. That's two things I go for. I know it's hard to put fun and learning, but I'm honestly having a blast.
Oh my god, it's Bunny Tails, the other bunny.
So just let me know whenever you guys are all set up and ready, and we'll kick back off.
I'm good. Like I said, I have my tea, and then I'm gonna go to bed after this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for the first portion to go on that long. My bad. I kind of got carried away. I was intrigued. I didn't want to stop it.
We were in the flow. It was good.
So normally,
I have to say, it's not just from my perspective, but hearing the stuff from Barry's side, hearing Red Eyed Monster, hearing Moblord, even you, and some of the things that you don't know have been enlightening, because it's things that...
Because we know everything.
Well, no, it's nice to know as a mod that, hey, I need to help my streamer out a little bit more. I need to give them a little more direction. And so it really does open up some communication between mods and streamers. Streamers really need to see both sides of the coin, just like we need to see both sides of the coin for you guys.
Exactly. And
but
guys,
one of the things that might not have been realised is the amount of work that goes on when the cast comes down, because there isn't just the cast being live, there's the stuff that happens afterwards.
Oh, definitely.
There's prep for the next day, there's art for the next day getting put together, there's conversations between your higher up mods having to speak with, your more senior mods having to speak with your chat mods.
I like the higher up term better.
Your more senior mods having to give your regular chat mods some direction, give them some ideas on what to do with chat, or answer questions they may have had from the day, because things come back and it's collective at the end of the day. It doesn't just stop when you turn off that OBS for mods. It's 24/7. Moblord knows he's a mod on a lot of channels. Barry is a mod on a lot of channels. It doesn't just stop for us. I have streams that go on at, basically my calendar goes 24/7 on streams I'm not in. So I'm getting messages in Slack. In the middle of the night, it'll be 3 a.m. and I'll get a message, hey, we're doing this. And I'm like, okay, I'm going night-night, but...
It doesn't ever stop. I mean, the bigger you get, the more this is a problem too, right? Because you have to kind of pick things to ignore at a certain point, even as a moderator. But imagine the streamer having that problem so much larger scale, and you're trying to take things off of them too. And hopefully delegating to other mods to some extent as well. So yeah, it never stops. You're doing giveaway send-outs. You're doing, maybe you're even being a hype man a little bit. You're trying to maybe help coordinate a dual stream with somebody, or
hell, I do most of my work after the VOD's done at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like it just carries over. You're there during the day for the cast, and then that's when I do most of my work is after the cast's done.
Alright, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put us back on the spotlight, and let's get to some of the viewer Q&A. I really like this question by Ara Gaming. How do you handle subscribers that feel like they should receive special treatment / moderation in a Twitch channel?
I'm so happy to not be a chat
Okay,
anymore.
as far as that question goes, you treat them the same as any person. Because the thing is, that person you're moderating today may not be a sub, but tomorrow they could be a sub. Those potential subs need to get the same treatment as your regular subs. Your regular subs are not above the rules. If you lay down rules for your chat, you need to show by example that saying, just because you pay me $4.99 doesn't mean that you can be an asshole in my chat. It doesn't mean you can go around the rules. You have to actually I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. But it's just that one particular person. You putting your foot down on that one particular person could also mean that people are going to come back to your chat because they see, well, this person's equal across the board. That actually invites more people to come back because you're not treating others differently. There's no hierarchy.
Everyone in your chat is exactly the same. They all have to abide by exactly the same set of rules. There are no exceptions. Except for the people who have exceptions.
I actually think that there has to be a little bit different considerations. I don't know, maybe I'm disagreeing, maybe I'm not, but I think that you have some people who have been around so long they might as well be mods, or they might as well be, they're at least, very recognizable in certain communities. And these people can influence discussions. If a certain person does something and it's not taken care of or addressed by a mod or by the broadcaster, they could influence a whole group of people to either behave or misbehave. So you have to maybe address them in a slightly different way. Most of the time, if they're a regular, I have them on either Steam or on Skype or something anyways. I'll often talk to these people off channel or using a message or something. If it's really bad, you address it right there in chat, but oftentimes they just need to be coached back into something. And if they're really recognizable...
Actually, can I say something just a second? My opinion is this on people who think they're entitled when they're subs. And no, I'm serious about this. This is not like a boob joke. The quality of the person outshines the quality of their wallet. Anyone can sub, but only a few can earn respect in a chat room. Because I can go into Lyric chat right now, sub, and be a jackass. Doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean I'm a good person. Doesn't mean I deserve better qualities. It just means I can talk when other people can't. But to get the respect, you earn that by time served in the chat and showing you want to be part of the community. So when you say people who are entitled because they sub, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I think that letting yourself believe that gives them power to abuse it. That's my opinion on that.
I want to just also add to this that just because they paid that $4.99, they could have a bad day. They could come in and, somebody had pissed in their cornflakes and they're going to decide, well, I want to piss in your cornflakes. So...
Don't piss in my cornflakes.
Yeah, I'm just giving it an example.
I'm even serious. I don't care if you're joking.
Put ketchup on Jesse's steak. But anyway, people can come into chat and they can be that asshole. And you don't want them to be that asshole. you're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. You're trying to be like, okay, I'm gonna purge you and tell you, hey, calm down, dude. It's gonna be okay. And they keep on. Well, that warrants them a 24-hour, and then you can explain to them via PM. You don't have to go to that Steam chat. You don't have to go to that Skype message with them. Send them a message and say, look, you're being a douchebag today. You got timed out for this. This is a reason why, and come back tomorrow with a better attitude. I don't care that you're a sub. You need to be a good person.
Yeah.
And to build on what I said before, the mod shouldn't just ban somebody when they're a sub.
Now,
Sorry, I mean mini-week. You have to have a really good communication with the streamer and have that rule set down saying, if a sub misbehaves, put your foot up his ass, because they need it to be done. Not all people are like that. Some people let subs run wild all over their chat, and that's their opinion, and they're more than willing to let that happen. I won't mod those chats. Those chats can go fuck off. I want no part of that shit, because that is an unhealthy and miserable, shitty chat, and deserves to be that way. That's just, I want to follow up on that.
Now, Moblord, you were talking about, like, maybe it might be a little bit different now.
Well,
I've
I
heard...
don't see any difference between a person who's a subscriber and a person who's sort of a regular, right? Because I guess maybe I should make that distinction that, you know, there are certain regulars that they may or may not be subscribed, but they've been there a really long time. Maybe you know a lot about them. Maybe they're really ingrained in your community. You know, I often will try to have these offline conversations with them, warn them in chat, and then have offline conversations. But there's no difference, in my opinion, between a subscriber and someone who's not a subscriber in the chat. That's not my distinction. My distinction would be between a person who just showed up today, who I don't know how to react to at all, and a person who I understand that they have a somewhat twisted sense of humor or whatever, like a Neris, or I'll just throw a name out there, a name drop. Someone who has a slightly twisted sense of humor that you have to occasionally coax back into the light. There's different personalities among viewers that you recognize over the years too.
Definitely.
Oh, name dropping.
How do you feel? Now, I've actually had a partner caster who's told me, you know, whether they kind of like it or not, or at a certain degree, that they've noticed and, you know, acknowledge subs differently than other viewers at a certain point, you know, whether they meant to or not. I mean, you know, I guess it's hard not to notice some at a certain point. Hey, somebody gave me money, but you know, like, do you think too many streamers do that, or, you know, or maybe even subconsciously, not even on purpose?
I was actually. Sorry, Perry. I was just going to give them an example from today that actually happened. Remember the sub that got banned today?
Yeah.
Their sub actually made an attack on a mod, and they said, you know, I'm going to kill you and they said it in chat. Yeah, they could have been joking, but they were like, they said it directly to a mod because they got timed out and weren't able to enter the giveaway. So they got pissy. Well, we were just going to go ahead and 24-hour that person. The streamer decided, you know what? I don't care. You can keep your money. I don't want you to come back and be an asshole to my chat.
Yep.
So we banned them.
They can keep paying after they're banned, by the way. And there's some that do. It's weird.
I got zero tolerance with death threats. Oh my god. Some people are ridiculous.
What's funny is it wasn't even technically a mod that timed them out. It was a giveaway protection system.
Yeah.
They tried to enter the giveaway before the giveaway was open, so of course the bot went and gave them a nice 10-minute timeout, so they missed the entire giveaway. They come back from their timeout and they just started kicking off in chat. And it's just like.
So, let's see.
Can I answer the nice one?
Go back to
Feel
mods.
free to
subs and non-subs. There's no real difference between the two. It's just that you generally tend to give subscribers elevated permissions, which means they can post links without being timed out. But the easiest way to look at that is that non-subs will automatically get timed out. Regulars and subs, if you've got it on your bot, will not get timed out, but they still have to abide by the link rules, which generally are the link has to be relevant to whatever's going on in chat at the time. So There's still chat rules. It's just that there might be some slight tweaking to the chat rules if you're a sub or a regular. But everyone should be the same.
Now, let's see. For you guys having the list, you can ask these questions in any order on the list. Just anything that pops into your mind you think is a very interesting question.
Any YouTube questions?
I want to answer the one that, what is your favorite part about being a mod? Favorite... No, it's easy. My favorite part about being a mod is that my particular personality, I love to help people. I really love to help people. And being a mod lets me help people. It lets me be able to answer your questions. It lets me help the streamer. I get to facilitate, by the streamer, answers and everything, and make your chat experience a little bit better. And that's what I love about being a mod, is that I don't really ever want to stream because I have so many good friends that stream and so many streams that I can just watch. But I get to contribute with such a great atmosphere that it makes me feel better to give back to you guys. And that's exactly what makes me love being a mod. It's not that I'm collecting swords. People say that to me sometimes because I get mod in a lot of channels.
I might have joked about that. Calm down.
It's not about, me just saying, I want to be mod. I don't go in channels and say that. I feel naked if I'm in a channel without my sword because I've gotten so used to it, and I'm generally not in a channel without one, but I love to make the communities a better place. I love to be able to answer your questions, to make sure you're not getting attacked by somebody who's coming in, to help keep the 4chan people at bay, to help, really make Twitch a better place. That's what I love to do and what makes me feel better about being a mod. At the end of the day, I know I helped someone. And sometimes being a mod, I encounter people that are having a really shit day. And so I'll take them to the side. I'll have a message with them where one person told me that they were thinking about killing themselves. Had a very, very long conversation with that person, and they told me that I really helped them. Because there's people that have a whole lot of issues. When they come to the internet, a lot of people have some sort of issue going on. So they're human behind that screen, and that's how I treat each and every one of them. And the fact that I could touch someone's life like that, it just makes me feel better.
Can I go next?
Yeah, absolutely. That is an amazing answer.
No. And what Aaron just said is absolutely correct. I know for a lot of us. The difference between modding and what you were before, if this makes sense, is so different. A normal job, you go to work, you hate it, you come home, you talk about how much you hate it, and then you drink to forget. At least that's how the standard business practice is.
I can
but with
attest to
modding, I'm able to take my interests, my talents, I guess I'll air quote that shit, and use them to help somebody who I respect and help them grow. And I've been able to do that. I've been very lucky to be part of the Co's group because you can actually see the growth compared to I've bought it for the small streamers and medium-sized streamers and stuff. And it's difficult to see growth unless there's a huge spike. But because I've been involved with YouTube numbers and analytics and view numbers and highlight numbers, you can actually watch something grow, and you've helped to accomplish that. And to me, this is the only job again, quote, jobs, only job I've ever had where I've been excited to wake up and get back to work. It is so rare to have that, and as a mod, you can get that. You really can, and it's absolutely a fabulous feeling. Okay, I'm done.
Awesome. What about you, Barry?
Apart from, as everyone said, it's just being able to help people. When it comes to the technical aspect, I just love being able to use my knowledge and skill and technical expertise and the resources that I have to help everyone else, whether that be building a bot or making a question and answer form for drop frames, or building all sorts of weird integration-y things, or all the bits that I do for Go Carnage, where it's we've got Rust whitelisting, we've got token checking, where it checks to see if you should actually have access and the information. Mum, please, you're insulting my skill. I have plenty of skill. But yeah, I just love being able to take the bits that I do at my day job, the bits that I do at freelance stuff, and all of that, merging it together and APIs and everything, and just doing it for other people, because I just love being able to take what I know and use it to help other people, because then I can help them help themselves be better casters, because they've got all of this support infrastructure in the background and it's just there for them to use, and I've helped build that, and I'm happy to have helped people during the cast on just doing chat moderation and stuff. But it's all the stuff that just sits there in the background that makes their entire community and cast what it is. But I can sit there and make something and it will do something for them that I don't have to be awake to help do, because I've built something that will help them whether I'm there or not there.
And you get to see it on screen too work. It's so palpable to see your actual efforts doing something and people appreciating it in cast. Like, not only during the cast, but in chat. It's remarkable. I don't know another job that's really like that. I can't name it. It's just phenomenal.
So the last 2 days, the amount of time that I've got home from work, having sat watching Coast cast at work, and then gone, okay, now I need to build the ARC notifiers, which I then spent 3 hours doing Monday night, and then spent Tuesday. I've lost a day somewhere now. Sunday night I was building ARC notifiers, and then Monday night I was building the Arkham Knight notifiers, and then watching that go live the following day. It's just, I get a sense of achievement because I've built something that the cast is now using, and it's running and it's there, and I can see that my work is making the cast overall better, and that's what I get out of modding, is not just the chat aspect but the technical aspect, and just watching my creations be used. So I get out what I put in because I build stuff and I can see it used, as well as helping people out, as Bunny and Red Eye have said.
Alright, what about you, Moblord?
Basically, what these guys have said is exactly nail on the head why I do what I do, and I think that's a really good, motivator too. It's, if your motivation is to help others, you can definitely be useful, even if you don't have as many skills as Red Eye does. I think you can still be useful to a lot of streamers.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was about to whisper boobs over what you were talking about, but I'm glad I didn't.
He got you back.
Some things never change.
You can still be so helpful to streamers. You can still be somebody's right-hand man, and I think that that's a great reason that people should get into moderating. I think it's a great thing that'll take you to other levels of moderating, because if you enjoy it, if you want to help build communities and help build the kind of place that you want to hang out on, which is essentially what we're doing, then I think you'll always enjoy it. It'll always be fulfilling to you. It's always been fulfilling to me. I mean, it's a lot like when I discovered the internet way back whenever. It's just, it goes on forever. It's infinite. Twitch is so deep. There's so much that you can do on Twitch. I'm finding new projects all the time and new streamers all the time. New worlds keep opening up in Twitch, and there's new people coming to it every single day. You'll never run out of things to do, things to see. The only really limit thing that people have is just their own time or motivation. So yeah, Twitch is an amazing place, and these are amazing people to do cool things with. So why wouldn't you want to do it?
I do want to add in that I don't know if you noticed the common theme here, Jesse, that the main thing we have in common here as mods, even though we're all in different aspects and different roles, is we want to help. And that's the biggest thing that any streamer should look for in a mod, is someone that genuinely wants to help. That they want to help not just you, but your community.
Truth be told, I didn't think I could really answer this question, as much as I don't, not necessarily known as a mod, but I guess that would be some of the same reasons why I cast and why I do the podcast, is because I want to help other smaller communities grow. I want to be able to, get information on, what you guys do, and, be able to let people in on what goes inside or what goes on behind the scenes with Twitch and all the things you guys do as far as helping channels grow and helping communities. And for that, I thank you guys for coming out, and helping me achieve that myself, being able to help, my community, everybody here who's watching. On top of that is, I will feel, with you guys that I do a little bit CSS coding myself, and I think one of the proudest achievements I've had is designing a chat for using CSS coding for excessive profanity, and seeing that just work accomplished. Mind you, I wasn't a mod. I was just like, I really love your channel. I don't have money to subscribe or anything, but can I design this chat for you? And he let me do it, and it was one of the proudest things to see, like something I put hard work into that he uses, and he just it really helped define his channel a little bit that much more, as well as Waddy's chat, Official Daikon's chat, and Electric Kitten's chat are all chats I've worked on with CSS coding, and things like that. Like I said, at first I didn't think I could answer this question, even though I'm not a mod, but I will definitely agree with you guys on the being able to help people, and being able to just it gives its own reward satisfaction, if you will. And I think that's something we all have in common for sure. Streamers, designers, mods in common, and I think that's what's so great about Twitch. That is probably one of the coolest things.
Absolutely.
I think ultimately we get out what we put in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
so
what I
work
think
is its own reward.
Yeah.
We all enjoy that. We love to be able. It's not just helping people, but we get to see the fruits of our labor. We get to see that effort that we put into the people, and that the care that we're giving everyone in the communities, not just as, a mod, but being a friend to them, and actually getting to see that they want to come back. And it's not just for the streamer. They're coming back because they have that interaction with you. I have found that in so many small streams that, when I'm hanging out there, they're coming back because they want to interact with me. And then they come with me to other channels, and I get to drag them along. And that's why you joke on me about how many followers I have, but I don't consider them followers. They're my friends. That's the difference. It's like, I feel like I have a personal connection with these people, that they're amazing. And I have the utmost respect for all of them, because here they are, they want to interact with me, but it's not just interacting with me like, hi, bye. It's having a genuine conversation and having a genuine connection, and knowing that you're touching their life just as much as they're touching mine. I could be having a crap day, like my grandfather passed away. A lot of you guys know that. The community, everything that everyone said to me, the nice messages I got, the DMs I got on Twitter, just the outpouring of love I got, even from my mod family, Barry, Red Eye, everyone, it touched me so much. Moblord too, because losing your grandfather is not easy, but it was sudden for me, and I have to say that I love everyone who, everyone who gave to me, and it's really what makes me happy to be a part of Twitch, to be a part of all these communities, and know all these amazing people.
It's got to the point where
It's
some
a
of
family
us mods have become more than friends. We're family.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I hate to derail. The feels are real, guys. But let's see. Trying to look for a next question. Let's see. We got Anonymous here. We've heard how to approach caster and learn more, grow. How would y'all recommend approaching a mod in the same regard? I would love to learn as much more on the back end of side that would help the stream out. So, how would you recommend them approaching a mod or anybody else? I mean, I'm assuming just Twitter them, or maybe even just.
First of all, I think they should probably be looking for ways to fit in and where to fit in. They should be watching a lot of streams. They should be seeing what they like and they don't like. They should be seeing what communities they match up with best. And then, if they have skills that they're bringing in from other areas, I think that's really an important thing. I think most mods have some skills that they can bring to a channel, and maybe work on, deepening those skills as best as you can. And then as far as reaching out to existing moderators, I mean, mods are generally pretty approachable. I think you can send a PM to most mods and get an answer back fairly quickly. We typically watch out for that and for Twitter. I think most mods are on Twitter. Twitter is where most streamers are as well.
At Red Eyed Sang, follow me.
Yeah, for steak and boobs.
Yeah.
Blatant plug again.
So yeah, that would be my answer.
And don't send people messages on Twitch. Twitch messaging service is where
Twitch
messages go to die.
Yeah.
Or if you do, let them know that you did so in Twitch chat, because then they know to go and look for it.
Yeah.
Well, truth be told, sometimes I don't know how the best way to approach people is, or, because everybody has, like, their own different approaching method, so I just, like, go to the neutral ground on Twitch, which is how I message most people nowadays.
And what Moblord said is true. If you've got good mods on the channel, we're approachable. If you ask one of us a question, we'll get back to you as soon as we can. I mean, as you probably understand, in the larger channels that we're modding, with Barry, Red, Moblord, Lucky, Monkey, there's a lot of us that mod these really large channels, and yeah, we get inundated with Twitch PMs sometimes. Why'd I get banned? Or what's going on with this? Can you explain this to me? Hey, I have an idea for this streamer. Can you pass that along for me? We're very approachable. We'll answer you with the best answer we can give you. And we're not going to be trolls to you. I even had someone approach me in another streamer's chat, and just because I knew the mod in the other streamer's chat, they got banned on accident. They were saying, how people come along and they're like, Lyric tamed this dinosaur in Ark, where they were competing, and he didn't see that as a plug. And so when I explained to him, hey, you're plugging Lyric's stream to this other streamer, you're gonna need to apologize to them, but I'm sure they'll unban you. When he went and apologized, unbanned, just like that. So it's, having that explanation and backing the mods from other channels too. It's not just the one stream you're in, because there's sometimes, just like that instance, where you have to back other mods in other streams.
Definitely. Let's see. I love this question by Miss Electro Kittens. Name 3 things you think every new mod needs to know when moderating a channel. I honestly
time management. I got. Hold on. Let me go. Time management, because it's very easy to burn out as a mod watching chat all day, or if you're doing multiple things. If you're doing that every single day, you can burn out. So manage your time wisely. 2, if you say you're going to show up in the morning or whenever, show up. Don't be like coming in the last half an hour of the cast and not doing anything. That's not cool. If you say you're going to show up at the beginning of the cast to help out, show up then. Number 3, follow me at Red Eyed Sang.
Okay, the top 3 that I have, and I actually have them linked, and I will grab those links for you guys, and link them shortly, is Twitch terms of service. You need to know them if you're going to moderate and be a good moderator by the back of your hand. You need to know what's going on as far as changes with Twitch. Terms of service is your guide, because you're always going to get somebody that's going to be in that channel that really you need to take care of. Second, Jesse. Anyway, second thing is Twitch conduct rules. That is the second one I would say, because it also tells you there's a lot of helpful links in there that people don't know about. They do have a lot of links in certain segments to help you as far as how not to be an asshole on Twitch. And if you want to direct somebody that's being an asshole on Twitch, here's the rules of conduct, I'll get that link for you guys. And third, what Red said, time management. And I use Google Calendars because you have to know what's going on certain days. You have to be able to keep an agenda. Being organized is so key to being able to manage being in so many streams and being a good moderator.
I really thought you were going to say what Red said. Follow him at Red Ice.
I know, so was I. I was so hoping, and then she shot me down.
I'm not gonna shout him out. He's my friend. I already do it enough, and I include him on some of my tweets.
I was waiting for it.
Out of pity.
Yeah, I couldn't tweet him.
Oh, what about you, Moblord? What are 3 things you think a new moderator should have?
Number one, mods should try to ask their streamer some questions, because I think sometimes streamers do a poor job of passing on rules and expectations.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that mods really need to go into these. Not every room operates the same way, so you need to go ask your streamer some questions about, hey, how do you handle this? How do you handle this? What do you have coming up? Give me information that I need to work with. Number 2 would be, well, if I had to pick something that's not already been, learn how the mechanics work. Go look at the documentation from Twitch to learn what the chat commands are and how the bot commands work. I know it's boring, but go read the bot documentation. You need to know how the bot works, and if there's stuff that the streamer could be doing better, that features that's not being used, you need to know about that to help your streamer out. And the third thing, of course, would be to follow Red Eye Monster at Red Eye.
Yeah.
That's the third thing.
There you go. Barry, what about you?
Well, I think the first and most important thing that any chat moderator needs to know are the actual chat rules of the chat that they're supposed to be moderating, because you can't moderate the chat if you don't know what the chat rules are. And then I don't think there's anything else that is anything more important than that, apart from know what the chat rules are, know what the chat commands are, and know what the bot commands are, because those 3 together gives you just about everything you need to do. And then the fourth thing is make sure you stay up to date in your mod chat, because the mod chat contains everything that's changed throughout the day. Like I was saying earlier, for Wild's mod chat, I will dump into chat everything that's happened whilst everyone else has been asleep, because Wild lives in Australia, so he doesn't pick anything up during the day, and he goes live pretty much the moment he gets up. So he will read the mod chat because stuff gets dumped in there overnight. So that's the 4 most important things: is know the chat rules, know the chat commands, know the bot commands, and make sure you stay up to date with mod chat, because mod chat contains everything.
All right. So, guys, unfortunately, I don't know if we'll be able to I don't think we're going to have time to get to all these. So, if anything, we're just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. My God, I will have enough questions for the next modcast that we'll do with maybe a different group of mods, and get that going sometime in the future. But in the meantime, guys, we're going to send off. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out here. Before you go, if you guys could do me one favor, once again, these people have taken 3 hours out of their day, and I cannot stress that enough. These people have taken 3 hours out of their day, and they have basically, they didn't have to do any of this. They were going out of their way to do this, make this podcast a thing, make this possible, be able to get this information out here, make this fun and enjoyable for me, as well as be able to educate me. And guys, if you can do me a favor and just drop them a follow, even if they don't stream right now, and even if they already got 900 follows and don't even stream.
What are you talking about?
No idea.
Follow Red Eye Sang!
And follow Red Eye Sang. If you can take one thing back from this podcast, follow Red Eye Sang on Twitter.
Well, we joke, but I will always answer any question, because I always refollow anyone back. If you ever want to know anything about what I do, how I learned it, the progression of learning what I do, and you're interested in doing that for other casters, follow me because I answer every single question. At Red Hat Tank.
Jesse, I do want to say that before we wrap up, if anyone does have any questions that they want to ask, I know that I may seem really busy, but I am not unapproachable. I love each and every one of you guys that showed up today, and thank you so much for being here for Jesse's cast. He's a wonderful streamer, and he's great at doing his podcast. But if anybody wants to ask me any questions regarding the littlest things with Twitch, regarding the largest things with Twitch, I will be happy to answer you guys. I don't mind sharing what knowledge I have, and if I don't know, I'll point you to someone who does know.
So, guys, here, Evilbunny, do you have any other final words or anything you want to... guys, can you drop some hearts for Evilbunny? If you could start us off in, giving us final words for the cast. I'm going to drop down your Twitter here.
Don't let that Moblord guy do a shout-out. Forget him.
I'm sorry. I like to do everything in order, and then we just kind of jumped into it. But if you have any other final words you like to give people, or before we get off?
I just want to say, you guys, everyone that showed up here, you guys are awesome. You're amazing. You're wonderful people, and you all deserve the same recognition that we're getting here as being on this modcast. You're amazing. Most of you are mods. I know a lot of you are streamers. We've got a really good diverse group, and I thank each and every one of you for showing up, for the support that you've given us, and for making Twitch a great place, and for something that we like to call our little internet home, and we have our internet family. You guys are freaking phenomenal.
Alright, and let's see. I'm gonna go over to Moblord. If you got any final words for the stream, anything you would like to add before we cut off the cast, and say any final goodbyes, I guess, if you will. And
sure.
Ladies and gentlemen of the chat, if you guys could once again drop some hearts and show some love for Moblord.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity for doing this. This was really fun. This is the first time I've done something like this. I think after this one, I'd be definitely willing to do something else as a follow-up. If there is one, I'd love to talk again. I don't think we've scratched the surface of all the things that goes into Twitch.
I know, that's how
sure.
I feel, Moblord, is honestly, I wish we had more time.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here. I thank for Evilbunny for inviting me and getting me invited to this. It's been great. I just wanted to mention one project that I'm working on. If you did happen to follow me on Twitter, there is a project I'm working on right now, and one of the people who's helping me is Lucky Misfit from chat. We're going through and doing probably the largest gender study that's been done on Twitch, which is going through and manually tagging gender or company or group to all of the streamers in the top few thousand of all of Twitch, to kind of do some studies about how female streamers are growing versus male streamers, and the percentages of them that are coming up through the ranks, and try to clear some misconceptions and some myths surrounding female streamers. It's a topic that I'm trying to approach from a very data-driven standpoint, and I'd love any feedback or help. If anybody wants to help, I can certainly use the help. It's just a cool thing that I'm working on right now, and if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you would hear more about that in the coming days. Otherwise, thanks so much for this, and I hope we can do something again soon.
That sounds amazing. Definitely do check him out on Twitter. Do follow him. I would be really curious about hearing more about that research. Let's see, Barry, if you got any final words and like to leave, like to give the cast, or like to tell our chat, now would be the time. Also, ladies and gentlemen of chat, once again, I'm gonna give you the links and show some love for Barry. All right, Barry.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been fun to be here and talk about some of the stuff that I do, and it's been interesting talking to everyone and just chatting about everything. And thank you very much for having me. It's also my first time being on one of these things, so it'll be nice to come back to another chat to talk about other things. But thank you very much for having me.
All right. Anyways, been a pleasure, man. We're gonna move on to Red Eye Monster, who likes to talk about boobs, and follow him on Red Eye Saying. Guy, I'm gonna be dropping his links here, and guys, if you could drop some hearts for Red Eye Monster for showing show some love and support, and let's not forget his Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big thanks, man, for having this show. This is one of the few times I've ever been on a podcast, and
Is that
I like
enough
what
for
you?
you?
Do here, and it's fun.
Jesse, stop. You're gonna get yourself.
Alright, you're gonna get banned.
Sorry.
But yeah, big shout out to Jesse for having us on here. That's pretty rad. And thanks for everyone else who came on here, and Aaron for organizing and stuff. And honestly, yeah, the biggest thing that I can say to anyone out there is, if you want to help, just do it. You know what I did there with that whole, Shia LaBeouf thing. Just do it. Put the effort in. Honestly, there's so many people out there who need good mods and learn, and they would really appreciate your help. So put in the effort. And thanks, Jess. Okay, I'm done. I got a bowl of mini wheats here with my name on it. So go ahead and finish the show.
Oh, my bad, guys. But, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you once again for coming out here. Each and every one of you in chat for, giving us some more, questions and whatnot. The only thing we got to end on right now is going to be a raid. For those of you in the Skype call or the Zoom call, or TeamSpeak call, I don't even know what this is anymore. If you could post in TeamSpeak a channel you would like to raid, and then I will be the tiebreaker if there's any tiebreakers or anything. But for those of you in chat, if you guys could do me a favor and get your raid calls ready, we will be showing some Twitch loves, Twitch support to another caster that we feel is very deserving. But once again, I thank you guys for tuning in, making this podcast amazing. Thank you guys for being here, taking 3 hours out of your day. Be sure to follow them on Twitter. Be sure to follow them on Twitch as well for when they do start streaming. And let's...
Jesse, I have to say,
wow.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Dude,
yeah, thanks, buddy.
Honestly, you guys have made this a blast. Like, this has been one of my more fun podcasts that I've had, as well as, honestly, I don't know why I'm, always nervous when I do the podcast, that I don't really show that, but, this has been a blast, guys. You guys, I need to do another podcast. I need to bring some of you guys back. Maybe
Dude,
get rid of Red Eye. No.
No! Fucking glorious!
Follow him on Red Eye Sang!
Alright, I think we already know where we're going. Guys, wait about 30 seconds to a minute after I cut off the cast, and I will be dropping a link here shortly. I love you all. You guys are awesome. Now, guys, there's only one thing left for us to do. That is our traditional derpy goodbye. Everybody on the count of 3, say goodbye together as derpy as you want. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye!
Bye.